enaku ya lelo tevyo bayebi amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyotwa bula kwibukisha kana depotimo wimbo watemenu wakatongi abazunga batita katongi nakula kwibukisa kateka kaibukubuna kapona neseko syove pamenso yangu abaume bayae iyaba baume iyaba baume
kateka wabantu iyaba baume twakulira lelo twakulira shikakukonke milimo shove Eti kume mo pulondolo la vale lilo mwingi
Iseko mwingi mwakwete Isaso mwingi mwakwete Mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
Katushi muchi mwakege Wali bomba kale Nomba mwatuja tuleli laki
We want to set a precedent. Let them give us reasons why the current president should not go near the casket. And who has told them that he wants to be near the casket anyway? Who has told them that he wants to be near the casket? If they want to say he shouldn't see the body, but who has told them that he wants to see the body? Why these speculations?
Maybe it's because you're arguing that really this must happen. Maybe that's why
it's assumptions. Even the court was asking them, presiding. The court was asking. Their lawyer couldn't explain. Presiding. You yourselves, in your written notes, you were saying Bishop Eric Banda should preside. So why are you now saying the president will preside? You yourselves. So what is presiding? They couldn't explain. What?
I traveled to South Africa a day after the president died. And I can say with all my heart, truthfully, that I've had the opportunity
to see the body?
To see the body, yes. So it is total lie. It is inhuman to even think that maybe somebody is telling lies. No. Our former president is gone, and he has been lying in the morgue for 9 months. It is so unfortunate. I don't know who we have become, even as a people. How we, the people of Zambia, have been able to accept such a situation. And we have to understand that there are implications. Keeping a person unburied, what does it mean? And especially one who had the key to the nation, who ruled the nation for 7 years, who did so much in the nation. You know, the inhuman treatment of the widow and the children. Do you think that things can be well with us? It can't.
To kill PF. And the same people should be presiding over his 10th memorial. The same people should be putting his ghost to rest forever, and we are watching. We can't accept that. That's why people are saying, what's going on in Zambia? What's going on? Because I don't want to say people were happy and excited when Mr. Sata passed on, because that's a fact. You can check it out for yourself. I don't want to say from day one, after Mr. Sata died, people began trying to destroy his memory by destroying PF.
Just to put it very in clear context, you are saying when Mr. Sata died, some people celebrated.
Yes.
They even began to campaign immediately.
Yes. Yes.
They saw it as an opportunity to get to office.
Yes. So that is a fact. And now, the same people went further when they got power in 2021 to destroy his party. And tomorrow they want to attend the memorial to make sure that even his party dies with him forever. We can't allow that. So for me, I'm waiting between now and tomorrow morning to see what happens. How can you allow somebody who has murdered your son or your daughter and you are still mourning to come and attend the funeral and be made to speak at the funeral?
But how good your son
was. And you know about it, you say, wait a minute, what's happening? And I think I can just say the whole thing, I summed it up when I spoke to one guy. I said, because how can you, Ambassador, a Catholic, be remembered in a Jehovah's Witness hall? Yeah. In the 10th anniversary, or how do you get
to be dishonored?
How do you get remembered in a SDA church when everyone knows that you're Catholic and so on? And the state insists. And the worst part is that I have learned that the Secretary to Cabinet is Catholic.
Yes, he is.
And so he's the Deputy Oliver Karabo. They're Catholic, and they should have told government to say, look, how these things are done. Especially Patrick Angwa, who is a practicing Catholic, church member, and I've seen him in church even giving mass, Holy Communion and so on. You should have said, wait a minute, we want to participate in this program. That's good. So let us engage the church to which the late President Sata belonged, and then we participate in there. Any insistence that we hold it in a mosque or in any other church building could have been frowned upon. They say, no, sir, Mr. President, we can't do that. Because now I'm getting feedback, say, I don't know much about these things. Someone says, no, there's satanism and so on. So, if you look at Tulaya, but the truth of the matter is that the party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute, I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're a former president, you are in danger of being attacked and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you didn't know that I was former president when you stripped me of these things. Please, go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to go to church, somebody goes into church and says, oh, the party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be
Thursday, 23rd April 2026. Welcome to today's broadcast. Today is an update of the broadcast we held yesterday over the mortal remains of the late President, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and government of President Hakainde Hichilema's determined efforts to pick the body without the consent of the family and without any form of decency or dignity, relying on bogus legal processes. Let me just start with this monologue that President Hakainde Hichilema is being tortured in life and in death. When he was president, he was humiliated by his chief opponent, President Hakainde Hichilema. He called him all sorts of names. Chakolwa, he called him all sorts of names. And after the 2026 elections, President Hakainde Hichilema refused to recognize President Edgar Lungu as rightful honor. And he refused to call him president the entire duration, the entire 7 years that President Edgar Lungu was president. When he lost election, people thought this would come to an end. The nation will heal from these divisions. The UPND have a habit of going to the arrest of President Hakainde Hichilema in 2017 over, the Mongu Namulunga debacle, where Hichilema's convoy refused to give way, and Hichilema was charged with treason, was picked up and locked up and charged with treason. And that matter ended up in a nolle prosequi, not that he was not guilty, due to persuasions, especially from the Commonwealth. President Edgar Lungu decided that the matter should end, and they entered the nolle. The matter never went to trial. When President Hakainde Hichilema took over the reins of power, it was very clear that he was going to act with a lot of vengeance against his predecessor. He abused him in his words, in his speeches, at every press conference, humiliated him, tried to bury his legacy, even many times when he was launching the programs and projects of his predecessor. He would stand on a program that was started by his predecessor and still issue verbal attacks against his president. It became worse when Hichilema stole the Patriotic Front. He became abusive, began to use words like imingalato, tukakufyanta pamukoshi, you never rule while I'm here. You never rule. You all saw those videos, I might play them. He was extremely abusive to his predecessor, and he vowed that unless he was not alive, President Edgar Lungu would not be allowed to return to politics. And indeed, even 3 judges were dismissed for just ruling that Edgar Lungu was properly elected. Edgar Lungu was taken to court in a clearly flawed process, a matter that the Constitutional Court has ruled several times, 4 times. They made that court rule against President Edgar Lungu, and President Edgar Lungu was barred from contesting any election and any future election. That was not enough. He had stolen the Patriotic Front. He had now barred him to stand as president. Then he went to the personal belongings of both the personal and party belongings of the party. They've seized over 250 vehicles that belong to the Patriotic Front. They used the excuse that these vehicles were not registered in the Patriotic Front. They were registered by well-wishers and others, including the children of the late president. You and I know that President Hichilema had vehicles for each constituency, for each district. He had vehicles for each province, and he had campaign vehicles located at the center. None of them were registered under UPND. But when PF did the same, he has seized all those vehicles from both the party that he has stolen, and then he has gone to the any belonging of the family, the children, the former First Lady. It has been a traumatic period for the Lungu family the last 5 years. But what became worse and inhuman was the denial of President Edgar Lungu to seek medical treatment. He was stopped in 2022, he was stopped in 2023, he was stopped in 2024. And when he finally left in 2025, you remember the UN Special Rapporteur was arriving that day. That is the only reason that the president left, because in that VIP room, there were delegates, advanced delegates for the UN Special Rapporteur, and UN and UNDP officials were everywhere. It became embarrassing for the state to attempt to stop the late president from leaving. Even that day, the way he left, he bought no ticket. He just turned up at the airport, and Makebi Zulu then bought the tickets for the First Lady and himself at the airport to attempt to stop all this detection by the state and to give them very little room. And the only reason Edgar Lungu was allowed to travel is that there were too many UN officials around, and it was going to be very embarrassing for the state. He left. For up to now, no government official saw President Lungu while in hospital, while under treatment in South Africa for 6 months. No one visited him. No one went to see. Even when President Lungu died, no one from government has been to the funeral house. No one from government, either the president, the First Lady, or any official has been to the funeral of the late president. They organized their own celebration at Belvedere Lodge, where they turned up. When President Edgar Lungu died, it took 7 days for President Hakainde Hichilema to announce his death. It's not enough that President Edgar Lungu was humiliated, tortured, embarrassed in life. Now he's being humiliated, embarrassed, and treated in an inhuman way, even in death. They claim that they want to offer the late president a dignified burial. That's not how you offer the dignified burial. The late President Edgar Lungu had put it very clearly that because of the differences, these 10-year differences, it would only be decent for President Hakainde Hichilema to stay away from the funeral. President Hakainde Hichilema has refused. He has stated that he wants to attend. The official programs have stated so. People have repeatedly told the president to say it publicly that, Mr. President, you will not attend his funeral as directed by his wishes. He has not, to date. His officials may say whatever they say, but the president has not. Today, let's start with yesterday. Yesterday was a very sad day. And from my sources, the people even at the morgue, the funeral home that has been handling this matter, are first of all very traumatized. Since the late president died, there have been numerous attempts to pick this body. From the first day when the president died, I think he died on Thursday, Mlambo Haimbe was trying to repatriate the body. On Sunday, brought a ZAF plane without the consent or authority of the family, and the family had to stop him. No, what do you mean we have to go? Have you even cared how we've lived the last 6 months? Do you even know about the medical bills and just other matters? The late president has just died and we just can't leave. We've been here for the last 6 months. And they pushed that the plane will pick the body on Thursday. They were very oblivious to the concerns of the family. Hence, the protracted crisis we've had. It took the president 7 days, before he could address the nation on the late president. We had Secretary to Cabinet, may the Lord bless him. He's the one that announced the death of the late president. It's not in his place, it is not in ambit, it's not in his position to do so, especially if the president is available, even the vice president. But he did make the announcement, and the president did so only after 7 days. What happened yesterday is extremely traumatic for all of us. The entire nation is just shocked. The entire nation is shocked at the events that occurred yesterday. So the Zambian officials from Lusaka, with an embassy official, 1 or 2 embassy officials from the Zambian embassy in Pretoria, carried the police and turned up at the 2 mountains, and they challenged 2 mountains that they want to pick the body. And that, remember, 2 mountains funeral parlor have been part of the legal process, together with Makebi Zulu and the children and the former First Lady. They are all there in the case with Attorney General and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in South Africa. It's called Department of International Relations and Cooperation. So they said, presented the document with some red note by a court register that the appeal by the Edgar Lungu family had lapsed. That's what they claimed, that they had failed to file documents and submission in the stated time. Therefore, the appeal had lapsed, and now they were there to pick the body. They were camped there at 15:30. They harassed the staff. They were heavily armed, came and they picked the body. You and I don't even want to discuss what was the body, where was the state of the body, how was the body, how did they pick it up, how did they treat this body? How did they bundle it into a police vehicle? How did they treat the body? You and I don't even want to go there. We don't even want to imagine what happened to a body that has been in the mortuary for almost a year. What is the state of the body, and how was it handled by these people that were very determined? Now the barbaric act comes where they ignored the family. They purported to have written a statement to the family that they've consented with the family. No one from the family consented. No one from the family consented that the body should be picked. And when the lawyer was finally informed, he informed these policemen and the Zambian officials that this matter is in court. We have filed. Our matter has not lapsed in the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein. We have filed a notice of appeal. We have filed our arguments. We have done our submissions. And you and I as government and the Zambian government and your lawyers and our lawyers have even agreed, because the Zambian government wanted the matter abridged. They want this matter disposed of before elections. There was even those negotiations of how they were going to treat the trial, because there are dates that are lapsing beyond August 13th, because I think some documents should be filed in May, another set of hearing or some documents in June, July, and then, determination beyond August. So the lawyers for the state were trying that even that process be abridged. And that's why the lawyer was shocked that these people had turned up claiming that the Supreme Court process had lapsed and they wanted to pick the body. And they said they were now using the High Court order. Remember the High Court judgment they won in August 2025. Every lawyer will tell you that even that process is the reliance on that court order is legally fatal. It can't take you anywhere because it was superseded by an appeal, notice of appeal. The matter was in the Supreme Court. If government wanted to use any legal means, they should have gone to the Supreme Court and said, this matter is before you. The Edgar Lungu family has failed to file on time. You, the court, have regarded this matter that it is lapsed or it has lapsed. Can you give us an order to take the body? They should have gone to the Supreme Court. They now relied on a judgment. Now, Akalemba Vesu, you know, our reporters, sometimes you wonder the quality of reporting. It's extremely poor. There is no fresh order that the Zambian government have obtained, despite what you are reading. No fresh order by the Zambian. The High Court from South Africa has not released the body of the late president, as they are putting it. They have just interpreted themselves that because, let us assume that the matter in the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein has lapsed. Let us assume that that is correct. They've now interpreted that therefore the judgment we won in the High Court in August 2025 should suffice and we are going to pick the body. They didn't go back to the Supreme Court where the matters are and ask the court for permission to repatriate the body. So all these things have been inhuman. And what has happened today? Where is the body? Where is the body? So the family lawyer is a very prominent lawyer in South Africa. You know him. He worked very hard in the night, went to the court process in South Africa is extremely admirable. It's like the first world court. You can wake up the entire system even in the night if there's an urgent matter. So the registry, a notice was filed to the registry and that there was a request for an urgent interdict because there were fears that government was about to repatriate the late president just last night. So the lawyer was very lucky that the registry afforded him and allocated him a judge. And it's all online. And the judge issued an order to the Zambian government, the South African police, the police commissioner, the one that has just been fired by President Cyril Ramaphosa. He has suspended him. All these were cited in that court order, and they were directed by the judge that they should return the body of the late president immediately, and that this body must be returned to Two Mountains or to a mortuary of the choice of the family. That's what the court order says. The court order is very explicit. You return the body of the late president immediately to Two Mountains or to a mortuary of their choice. So let us imagine the propaganda they've run the whole day, that the propaganda they've run the whole day that Two Mountains have refused to take the body. Why don't they surrender the body to the family? Because the court order is very explicit. Give it to Two Mountains or to the family. They will tell you which mortuary to take the body to, but surrender it. Give it up. That is what the order says. As at this evening, the Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha has not surrendered the body of the late president. The family doesn't know where the body is from last night when the body was picked. They don't know the state of the body. They have no knowledge where Mulilo Kabesha has taken the body. We have now entered a realm of speculations, because Mulilo Kabesha, in his official statement, and I'm glad that when we come to a media and we come to the nation like this, that a somber, critical matter like this, you don't do propaganda on it. You just rely on the facts. And there was a concerted attempt by the UPND and government machinery and their alliance partners who attempted to demonstrate that the body was stolen, and they were even trying to implicate Makebi Zulu. And they were trying to push the narrative. And it was very sad even to see some faces that support certain presidential candidates in the opposition push that narrative alongside government.
The facts emerged. Mulilo Kabesha announced himself that they had picked the body, that they had relied on the High Court order issued in August 2025, that they had, the body was now in their custody, and they claimed that they had deposited the body at a government facility with the South African government. So we were not doing propaganda. We were not in any way. In fact, it is the other side that engaged in very, just, you can call it evil, just evil propaganda. Where is the body? Where is the body? Here is what we know as EMV. The body was taken yesterday. It was deposited at Shwane District Hospital in Pretoria, and it's under the custody of the Zambian embassy. Today, the Zambian embassy was frantically trying to get flight clearance with the Civil Aviation Authority to repatriate the body. There's been intimation to them that there are these court orders. We understand that they were very determined that they were going to ignore the court orders and repatriate the body. You saw earlier in the day Makebi Zulu has rushed to South Africa. I even feared that they might stop him at the airport. So this afternoon, Richard Musukwa, who's been a representative of the family, and Makebi Zulu rushed to South Africa to attempt to see what can be done. The lawyers have done their best, the lawyers for the family of the Edgar Lungu. They picked the board, I mean, they've obtained a court order restraining the Zambian government from repatriating the body. They've obtained a court order that is explicit, that returned the body to Two Mountains Funeral Parlor or to the family of Edgar Lungu's own choice of mortuary that they will pick. The Attorney General, as I'm speaking to you, has not abided by the orders of the High Court. In effect, they've been trying to repatriate the remains of the late president. We are also aware that the president had engagements in South Africa and in Mansa. He should have been in Mansa to attend the expo and to attend the official commissioning of the Malumba solar power plant, the process that was started by ZESCO under the PF. It's been completed, and then he's supposed to have engagement in South Africa. We understand he should have gone to Lesotho and Eswatini. Lesotho, there was an official opening of a long span bridge that has been built between Lesotho and South Africa that has crossed the two mountains and will shorten distance. We understand the president was supposed to attend there, and he has an official engagement in Eswatini. He has cancelled those processes today. He hasn't been to Mansa, he hasn't traveled to Eswatini. And they were looking forward to receiving this body. Are we losing who we are as a people? Have we lost our sense to act as human beings? Before we are political opponents, have we lost the mind of being Africans, of being Zambians, of being human beings that would act in the manner we've acted the last 24 hours? The family is very clear. They want to put to rest the president. Mulilo Kabesha and President Hakainde Hichilema can afford this long-drawn process. They are using your money. They are using your money. Mulilo Kabesha has hired lawyers at your expense. They are doing these at government expense. The Lungu family, how are they managing this very expensive process? Who will pay the 1 year cost of keeping the body at the mortuary at Two Mountains? Who will pay those huge costs? Who's meeting the cost for the lawyers? No luseta twakwata, no luseta mwakwata. You know, can we be human for once? You cannot treat the widow in this manner. And this evening, information emerged, which was even more serious, that they've brought some so-called relatives from Petauke. You know, I think they want to do a quick funeral, and they'll be representatives or family or relatives. I appeal to you. Edgar Lungu was your child, was your son. Why are you, if you are really a relative, why are you participating in such an evil scheme? Why doesn't President Hakainde Hichilema yield to the demands of the family? And we put the late president to rest. Why should we subject the widow to this process, to this humiliation, to this pain? The former First Lady yesterday was totally broken. It's like the president had died all over again. You can imagine the pain you and I felt yesterday. Yet we are distant from the late president. Imagine the trauma of the children yesterday, the trauma of the First Lady, and the trauma of the family when they learned of these facts, where government was abusing a legal process to steal the body. 24 hours later, they still have the body. We don't know where the body is. The lines are open. Let me hear from you.
Stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're former president, you are in danger of being attacked and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president?
Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your contributions.
That's my brother.
Yes, my brother. Who's calling?
I would rather still remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Yes. It's a painful kind of experience that we are going through. I took time to listen to the program that you had yesterday and the calls that were coming through. This is tragic. It's tragic. It's unimaginable that we could treat President Edgar Lungu in this fashion. What is wrong in the president just saying, I'll stay away, let the vice president continue? What was wrong in the president doing that? We had the people who had offered to come and mediate. Bakiri Muluzi from Malawi, Jacob Zuma had offered to come, and even in Zimbabwe here, they were all told, this is our private matter. Leave me, I'm capable of handling it. How careless. You see, sometimes God allows it for you to see it. Because if you were just being told, no one would have taken it serious. Because uja muntu, God rejected him 5 times. God rejected at the ballot. And the Zambians, we were heavily warned. People were going to my prayers, usiku na mzua. They were told to say, there is an evil spirit hanging over this man. So pameta fika manje pano, nipamusinje wasizi. Because the man has no soul. The man has no heart. Ambassador Maloma. And look at that man carefully, study him carefully. Because some of you, this is when you are knowing him. We know that man. I would sympathize with that, the views that other gentleman raised, whom you corrected. Look at all the people he has crossed paths. Even now, study the UPND. There are some people who have completely gone silent. They are injured in their hearts. They have simply gone silent because they know him. So what we are saying, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Zambians, that this is a time for us to seek God. This is not a physical battle.
Hello, my brother. Yeah, my brother, just let me cut the line. I've got an urgent call. There could be something important that I can update you. Just hold on.
No
yeah,
problem.
you can call back. Let me just take this call.
Thank you. No problem.
Hello, Council.
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoza kula kuibukisha kanade pochimo wimbo watemenwa katongi abazunga batita katongi nakula kuibukisha kateka kaibukubuna kapona neseko syove pamenso yangwama umebaya kiyaba baume
Twakulila, lelo twakulila Shika kukonke milimo shore
Ale filamba Fiena minta pengo sile Eti kume moku londolo la vale Lilo mwingi
Iseko wingi mwakwete Isaso wingi mwakwete Mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
Katusi muchi mokege Wali bomba kale Lomba mwatu jatuleli laki
Good day, thank you very much. Sorry, viewers had opened the phone lines, but I had to take that very urgent call. I've been trying to reach Honorable Makebi Zulu, who's a family spokesperson who has traveled to South Africa to urgently attend to the matters that have occurred where there's a court order, but the Attorney General and the Zambian government have not complied to that court order. So I wish to announce that in the next 10 minutes, we are going to host the family spokesperson, Honorable Makebi Zulu. He's going to come live at 21 hours and he'll give us a brief of the latest. He has traveled to South Africa this afternoon and he'll be giving us an update at 21 hours. So for all those that are waiting for any formal update, please share the broadcast and tell your colleagues. For the media, please just hold on at 21 hours. We are going to host Honorable Makebi Zulu. He will come by phone or by link. I'll try to quickly establish a link for him so that we can see him and he can give us an update at 21 hours. So at 21 hours, family spokesperson Makebi Zulu will join us. Let's go back to the calls and we see which calls we can pick now. You can call meanwhile as I'm trying to set this up and so Makebi Zulu is coming at 21 hours. He has arrived safely in South Africa and we want to get an update from him in his capacity as family spokesperson. In his capacity as family spokesperson. So let me just begin to that setup.
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoza kula kuibukisha kanade pochimo wimbo watemenwa katongi abazunga batita katongi nakula kuibukisha kateka kaibukubuna kapona neseko syove pamenso yangwama umebaya kiyaba baume
Kateka wa bantu Twakulila, lelo twakulila Shika kukonke milimo shore
Thank you very much. I'm trying to create a link. Maybe what would be appropriate is first we have Honorable Makebi Zulu on top of the hour is going to brief us what is happening in South Africa. We don't know where the body is as at close of the day at 17 hours. The Zambian government, the Zambian embassy who picked the body yesterday, accompanied by the South African police, have not surrendered the body despite a High Court order. The High Court order was very explicit and very clear. Surrender the body where you took it from. Number two, if there is any issue with the body where it was, allow the family to give you an appointed funeral parlor in which you should take the body, but surrender the body. For the last 24 hours, the Zambian government have not surrendered that body. And family spokesperson Makebi Zulu has just traveled to South Africa this afternoon. He has arrived safely, and I just had to interrupt the broadcast because I've been trying to get him. He will be giving us an update on top of the hour. So hold on, share the broadcast for the media. The spokesperson for the family, for the Edgar Lungu, will be giving an update just live here at 21 hours. So let's just hang on. And for the callers, I think let's have the calls after Honorable Makebi Zulu has given us his brief of what he has found in South Africa and any latest development. You are aware that yesterday, embassy officials from the Zambian government in Pretoria, officials from Lusaka, accompanied by South African police, turned up at Two Mountains Funeral Parlor. They surrounded the place, they treated it like it's a place of crime, and forcibly took that body. We don't know where they've taken it to death. All we are aware is that they are claiming, as you saw from the statement by the Attorney General, that they were now relying on the August 2025 judgment that gave the authority to government to repatriate the body and bury it. It even had conditions in which they could pick the body, that it had to have a family member present, and it explicitly mentioned the ADC, that loyal man, Bachanda. The court order mentions him, but government ignored all that process, and they just went in like robbers, stole the body, and we don't know where it is. This has now taken us in the realm of speculation. They had attempted to do and engineer propaganda that the body is missing, that the body has been, is missing. Yet it was the government that took it. And we're glad that the Attorney General quickly came and confessed that they had taken the body and had taken it, according to them, to a government facility. We don't even know if that is true. And they are using the police in a corrupt manner. That entire police is under investigation. There's even a commission of inquiry. Because the manner in which they've used that sergeant, trying to do an inquest, trying to do, he claims that he's relying on two statements that were issued by Raphael Nakachinda and Brian Munduwile that the late president could have been poisoned. And he has taken that. He has not verified those facts. And he started the process in the magistrate court in Randburg. And he wanted the body, he wanted DNA, he wanted everything to pick the body and conduct a postmortem. On whose interest? On whose interest? Who allows postmortem? Isn't it the family? Who allows these? Who allows coroner inquest? It's a family. How can a so-called NGO and this police officer conduct this process that they wanted? That process failed. Now they are saying the matter in the Supreme Court of Appeal has lapsed. And now they are saying that that's a reason they're now relying on a judgment here in 2025 to pick the body and repatriate it to Zambia. We don't know where the body is. Makebi Zulu might answer this evening at 21 hours, 2 minutes before. Let me just go back and try to connect him online, and let's see how it goes. He comes at 21 hours.
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoza kula kwibukisha Kana depotimo Wimbo wa temenu wa katongi Abazunga wajita katongi Nakula kwibukisha kateka Kaibuku muna kapona Nenseko siove pamenso Yangu ama umebaya Iyaba Iyaba ume Iyaba ume Iyaba
Kateka wabantu Twakulira lelo twakulira Shikakukonke milimo shome
Ale filamba Yena minta pengoshile Eti kume mopu londolole avale Lilo wingi
Iseko wingi mwakwete Isaso wingi mwakwete Mwaya Mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
Katusi muchi wakege Wali bomba kale Lomba mwatu jatuleli lake Ukula bevyo wati tobuingi Ibisebo wapangini obuingi Ukuchinjo lusako kumoneko busaka Mama Utituwa basiyani Chagwa katuse
The party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen, to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute, I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're a former president, you are in danger of being attacked and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president? When you stripped me of these things, please, go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to go to church, somebody goes into church and says, the party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen, to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're a former president, you are in danger of being attacked and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president? When you stripped me of these things, please go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to go to church, somebody goes into church and says, oh, the party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen, to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me.
Thank you very much. We'll be joined shortly by Honorable Makebi Zulu, the family spokesperson. He has an urgent update for us. Remember, as close of the day, we don't know where the body of the late president was. The Attorney General stated that the body was in their custody, that they had picked it up, and they were relying on a court order from 2025, court judgment from 2025, and they said, they accused the family that the case has lapsed, and they therefore picked the body. They picked it without the consent of the family, without the presence of the family, even without respect to the same court judgment that they are relying on, which had spelled out the manner in which the body should be handled. And the family's lawyer rushed to court. In the night, they obtained a very straightforward interdict: return the remains of the late president immediately and return it to 2 mountains where you got it from, or to a facility that the family will tell you. And none of that have happened as at close of business today. But Makebi Zulu says he has an urgent update, and I'm just waiting for him. He is intimated that he will come on top of the hour, which was 21 hours your Zambian time. Just an update of what has been going on. So there has been a process, although many people haven't reported about it, including the media. There's a process where there was a complaint from that NGO, the NGO that, was collaborating with Robert Chavinga, that NGO that has been making protests, alleged that the late president was poisoned, and they went to a police station, and that process began where this man wanted to conduct an inquest on behalf of that NGO. They wanted to conduct a postmortem. They wanted to conduct the verification of the remains of the late president. That process failed in the Randburg Magistrate Court because the magistrate stated that he was aware that there were matters in the superior courts. He was referring to the matters that are in the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein. In South Africa, the executive is in Pretoria, the courts, the superior courts are in Bloemfontein, the Supreme and Constitutional Court are in Bloemfontein, and Parliament is in Cape Town. They've separated the authorities like that. The 3 wings of government are totally separate, even in distance. The executive is in Pretoria, Parliament, the legislature is in Cape Town, and Bloemfontein occupies superior courts, the Court of Appeal and the Constitutional Court. So there's been a matter in the Constitutional Court and in the Supreme Court of Appeal. And that Supreme Court of Appeal, the Attorney General claims that that matter lapsed. It did not lapse. Let me just check if my guest is in so that we can quickly go to the update. No, he's not in. Please keep on just waiting. Let me call him and find out. He had said on top of the hour he will come and address you. Makebi Zulu, in his capacity as family spokesperson, will be addressing you shortly. Let me just look for him just now and so that he can come on live.
We want to set a precedent. Let them give us reasons why the current president should not go near the casket. And who has told them that he wants to be near the casket anyway? Who has told them that he wants to be near the casket? If they want to say he shouldn't see the body, but who has told them that he wants to see the body? Why these speculations?
Maybe it's because you're arguing that really this must happen. Maybe that's why
it's assumptions. Even the court was asking them, presiding. The court was asking. Their lawyer couldn't explain. Presiding. You yourselves, in your written notes, you were saying Bishop Eric Banda should preside. So why are you now saying the president will preside? You yourselves. So what is presiding? They couldn't explain what presiding is.
Wonderful. I think I have Honorable Makebi Zulu. Honorable Makebi Zulu, let me just test your volume. Good evening, please. Good evening, and thank you for creating time to come here.
Good evening. Great.
I think the volume is okay. I'll just ask if you can put the phone in landscape. Let's just retreat to the studio, then I'll come back. Yes, I think this will work. This will work. That's better. Honorable Makebi Zulu, good evening. You traveled to South Africa this afternoon, and the country is worried. We don't know where the body of the late president is. From the family's side, we've heard the explanation from the Attorney General. Please just give the country an update.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. I'm sorry, I'm fidgeting a little bit here because I need to just steady myself. Yes, as I'm talking to you, we're currently at the Forensic Pathology Services. That is a place where the body was brought. We are currently waiting for the release of the body. There has been a bit of some difficulties in getting the body released. And finally, we are getting the body released. You may be aware that they did approach the morgue and pick the body from the morgue, purportedly executing the August 25th, 2025 judgment. Apparently, the moment the body was gotten from Two Mountains, it was brought to this place. It's called Pathology Service, Forensic Pathology Service. That's what the place is called. Then you also do recall that I did address the Zambians yesterday and everybody else that we had gotten an order from court demanding the immediate release and return to the morgue where it was picked up from, or indeed any other place where the family would designate, and that they should show cause as to why they should not be cited for contempt, is what the order said, and that was gotten between 22 and 23 hours yesterday. We got here this afternoon, and we were alerted, was in Zambia, that the body was here at the Forensic Pathology Services. It is a state department that does forensic examination and pathology examination, as it were. We got here and we found that in the morning, despite being aware that there was a court order for the immediate release. The body was subjected to a postmortem. Now, the chronology of events that we have found here is that at 18:30 yesterday, the body was brought in this place. It was brought, according to the occurrence book, by a diplomat from the Zambian embassy, as well as the police. Those are the ones that are indicated in the book. Then there is a docket, a postmortem docket, that is carried, that is signed in. It was signed in by a Sergeant Ngwenya. And in that docket, they purport that President Edgar Chagwa died of alleged poisoning, and this was reported by a family member, which fact everybody knows is not true because we've addressed this fact before. We've talked about this before. We also noted that whereas in the occurrence, it says the person that was brought here is unknown, in the postmortem docket, it says President Edgar Chagwa. We were given an opportunity to see the body, and indeed they accessed the body, and away from the court order, because the court order that they said they were executing is that of the 25th of April, which only relates to RIP. It has got nothing to do with any postmortem. There's no order from any court in South Africa permitting a postmortem to be conducted on the body, despite there being an inquest which may eventually result into, that is, if at all there's any doubt as to the cause of death, the court ordering that there should be a postmortem. In this regard, that has been short-circuited by the government of the Republic of Zambia, keeps stating that this matter was commenced by the government of the Republic of Zambia based on a false article that was written and paid for by the government of the Republic of Zambia, the basis of the investigation, alleging that one of the family members, whom they do not name, had in fact reported that there was poisoning. There is no report from any family member, and that is a fabrication and the basis on which all this has been done. We have also come to
Honorable Makebi Zulu, just two issues.
Yes.
The forensic pathologist services where they brought this, is it the one at University of Pretoria?
Yes, this one is in Pretoria, yes.
Yeah. Has a postmortem been conducted on the late president?
Yes. The postmortem was conducted. It began at 8:30 today and only ended at about 14 hours. That is despite them being aware that the court had issued that order demanding for an immediate return of the body to Two Mountains or any other mortuary that the family had decided. So we've been here all this while, and it's only just about now, after insistence and persistence, that we will be getting the body and taking it to a designated mortuary. And this, of course, is after the body was dissected.
You know, this is very shocking. So the Zambian government has conducted a postmortem on the late president without the authority of the family, without the consent of the family.
There was no consent from the family. There was no family member who identified the body. There was no family member who was present during the postmortem. There was no family member who was aware as to where exactly the body was. So all this stuff has been done without the involvement of the family at any stage, from the point of picking up the body to the point of repatriation of the body from from Two Mountains to this place called Forensic Pathology Center.
Oh my.
Yes, so we are out here awaiting the repatriation of the body to mortuary of our choice.
What is the state of the body? Oh my.
Well, like I said, a postmortem has been conducted, meaning that the body has been dissected, been opened, and they've done whatever they had to do with the body. And yes, we will be picking it up in that state. The order was for the return of the body, certainly in the state that it was in.
Honorable Makebi Zulu, what are your last words? I know you're still working and you have to find where to take the remains of the late president.
Well, we have already found, and we're just waiting. We're signing affidavits for the release, and obviously stating the condition in which we have found the body. And we'll be taking it also and securing it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Makebi Zulu. Thank you. We want to call this up. I am numb. I don't know what to say. So the Zambian government picked this body yesterday. And despite a court order last night, they proceeded to conduct a postmortem on the late president without the consent of the family, without the presence of the family, without the knowledge of the family. These facts have just emerged from Makebi Zulu, who's a family spokesperson, who since arrival has been hunting for the body. The body, he has found it at the Forensic Pathologic Services, which is in Pretoria. This, it provides investigation and autopsies and provides expert testimony. So the government have defied everything. They picked the body purporting they wanted the body to come to Zambia. Has any of you attended the postmortem? Show in the comment if you have attended the comment. Show or explain what is done when a postmortem is done. Here is Mulilo Kabesha, acting on behalf of the Zambian government, picks the body. Okay? The order is relying on, didn't give him authority to dissect, divide. It gave him authority to bury the president in dignity. It didn't give him the opportunity to dissect. This is, I don't know to what level and depravity we are going to sink in. How do you conduct a postmortem without the authority of the family, without the presence of the family, or even his lawyers? You dissect it, or they found the body, but it is in that state. It has undergone, from what the records show, from 8:30 to 13 hours. That is a period that the postmortem was conducted. Thank you very much. I can see let me just speak to Honorable Makebi Zulu. Does he want to give further updates? I can see he's on the line. Honorable Makebi Zulu, is there any further update? Oh, okay. I guess he's just watching. Oh, yes. Is there any further update?
As soon as there is some further update, I'll let you know. We're just waiting for. We'll be signing the affidavits to get the body. Then we will proceed to take the mortuary. Yes,
thank you. I wish you God's strength. I wish the family God's strength in these very difficult circumstances. Ladies and gentlemen, the lines are open. You've got all the facts. So we've identified where the body is. The body is at the Forensic Pathologic Services. The Zambian government picked the body and have subjected it to a postmortem. The postmortem started at 8:30 and ended at 13 hours. This postmortem has been done without the consent or authority of the family and without any legal basis. The process they are trying to use, the so-called judgment for 25th April, as you've heard from Makebi Zulu, says it didn't grant the Zambian authorities to conduct a postmortem. If you value our government, for me, I'm just totally shocked.
Hello?
The lines are open. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
You, mwaikana nibala mwamba weswala mwandini.
Mkwai.
Ala, ba mwambanga kwa ichachi ninga kwa libo buloshi. Ubobo tuamona po buloshi ukukulu. Pa buloshi bonse. Mulenje bati badi yuno kuya balina okuya ku Luapula, balina okuya ku Swaziland, baleka fyonseefi okuya mukukakaula omubiri kuya mukusenda kwefishimba because fishimba efi basendereko olwo nomba mwalamona after okuchita all these things nomba bala ileka board because ovo balefwa n'abafisende efishimba imwe mwebena Zambia muleti poshani mukabapokele nokubapokela ku airport after n'abasende efishimba shuwa kuti baule Paula shani mubiri ukushiri wabo shuwa mwebantu na ifo fwema Zambiani, is it what we want? Zambia, is it what we want? Imwe mwebantu bakwalesa ini mwandini amakana yapwa imwe yapu ile mailo ba mwamba wesu. Imwe kushuwa kuti tuwalekelesha shuwa balungu kubakaka ule fishuwa kubakaka ula kwa tubaleka ule nama. Imwe busho ubuntu na bufumamo mumitwe Yesu na mumitima Yesu bushe chilishani mweba Yesu ku Zambia. Chilishani. Ukufika pa extent ya ipi ya buloshi. No nangu niso nishuwa bakabesha balilanda nokulanda tawe ulefu abodi. Ofo baishile kuno kusa Afrika nani kani ba HH nchishi. Baleko kuya ku Luapula kuya baleko kuya ku Swaziland bali kusa Afrika finish ofo baishile kuno finish ba HH. Tebuloshi bakonkele ba mwamba imu. Awe mwandini ba HH mulalo wakabiri mulindo shikulu kumwana bakabesha mwatenshe chalo kubuloshi bwenu kabiri mulindo shimwe ba HH but lesa tukamimono fo mukachita nefo fini musendere because na musenda kwa mapati mulindo shiba HH mulindo indo kulu ama isatane stili kulu pa masatane stimo ba HH mulindo Bamwamba ini amakana yapo.
Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your views.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Hello, good evening.
Tandiwa Petition Ngoma on the line.
Yes, Tandiwa.
Ambassador, I'm so shocked. I'm shivering. I can't believe that this is how far we can go as a country. Really, HH has the audacity to force himself without the presence of the family to go ahead and do a postmortem. I would not be surprised after this if we hear HH saying, bring the body, I will respect the wishes of the deceased, because he has done what he wanted. Because if the government of Zambia really meant well with what they've done, the family could have been involved from the word go. The fact that they decided to do this secretly just exposes them. The fact that they've gone ahead to do this postmortem against the court order just exposes them. What HH needs to understand is that the family, before he talks of President Edgar Lungu being a statesman or something, President Lungu comes from a family. There's no way he could go ahead to do a postmortem. The family needs to be there. Uwena vuloshi pro max. Ingatwaribukire mairo kumfo kwebati ba HH tabakasangweko kumaliro mwaleto mubiri tetindabwe, because I think whatever he wanted from the Lungu from the body of the Lungu of the former head of state has been gotten already. Umubiri ofo balepo kumubiri wabalungu nabasenda kale ngabali vukire mairo kwebati tabasangweko kuchiriro tabasangweko kubario tetindabwe, because he has achieved whatever he wanted to do. And can he please let the family, can he let the family bury? Can he let the family bury? But there's one thing, whatever he wants to do with whatever he has taken from there, Zambia tulelila. takwaba olufyengo lwaifi takwaba olufyengo lwaifi Edgar Lungu bafuma ku bantu balikwata abakashi balikwata abaana ekyo ekyo ekibenga buulira fye mu maka yaabo bayasenda balungu ati bakite postmortem mu maka yaabo kingi ekyo ekimwafuma ku bantu bakabesha mwafyalwa ku bantu imwe mukiine fye mwayavuula omubiri w'abalungu against koti oddeeyo tayirangirepo kuba tinamukwata ensambu ku kiteefyo family noosangwako mwaya kiteefyo aifyo finkimufwaya kanshi buulo kibwashani finshi bamyebe fe mufiire okukita ku mubiri w'abalungu. What is it that you really want from that body that you had to go to such extremes? Why, Mr. President? Why? You are really a disgrace to the presidency. You are not only an evil man, but you're a bad man. You are a bad man. Abena Zambia noluvotera twaya vota nekyakutulia. This man will not stop at this. If we are not extra careful, there will be no Zambia to talk about tomorrow. Zambians, let's wake up. Let's open our eyes. If somebody can go in a foreign land to go and carry a postmortem against the wishes of the family, wakutina. If HH can go to those extremes, what else can he do muchalo ichesu fuebene? Omwa ikatama institutions yonse. If he can do that in a foreign land, what more in Zambia? What else can he do? Zambians, let's wake up. HH is not up to anything good. He's not up to anything good. And he's not a leader who should continue come 13th August. Uyumunta fuiro kuya. Fueba kupepa katupepe. Fueba kulanda katulande. Mwebantu. This man has to go. You can't do this to the Lungu family. This is too much, Mwamba. I can't stand this. I can't. Mwamba, bye.
Family, this is very difficult for all of us. It's extremely difficult. Here it is, without authority of the law, without authority of any matter. And there was a court order to surrender the body from last night, saved on Mlilo Kabesha. They proceeded today. They took the body to forensic pathologist services in Pretoria, and for over 5-6 hours, they conducted a postmortem on the late president without the presence of the family, without the presence of the lawyers. Hello, caller. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
This is Bamwamba, let's try to put politics aside in everything. Bamwamba, wase tufuma ku bantu. Umuntu kutuwa chite chintu chichafina without the family members. This is not about PF, this is not about UPND, this is not about the socialist party, it's about Ubuntu. What has happened today? Let's ask ourselves, is it normal? Let's put politics aside, Bamwamba. Because Zambians, you are consumed about saying no politics. Let's put politics aside just for a moment. What has happened? Is it normal, Mwebantu? Bamwamba, we have a country. Yes, we can have our differences, but we are still human beings, created in the image of God. Bamwamba, you and me can have personal differences, but I can never do what has happened to our former president. Bamwamba, let's ask ourselves, put politics aside, but honestly, Zambians, the answer lies towards us. Because like Ketiwa said, if we don't stop what is happening, my Lord Mwakasange country, Bamwamba, this is sad day for Zambia. I submit.
Thank you very much. That's the matter we are dealing with. Yes, they stole the body yesterday. A court order was obtained. They've ignored the court order. They didn't surrender the body. And the body has been found, but there's been a 4-hour postmortem that was done on the body without the consent of the widow, without the consent of the family. And it was done just in the presence of an embassy official. They're the ones that have gone on record, and the police officer. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador. This is Brian Matambo. I'm calling you.
Yes, Brian.
From Lusaka. And this development is extremely difficult to just even process. Very difficult. But let me just go to points that I would like to share and highlight. You know, I have attended the postmortem before, Ambassador. The doctor would warn you that you have to be strong because...
Describe what happens at the postmortem since you have attended.
At the postmortem, I was a family member and I had to first identify the body. They asked me, is this the one? I said, yes, he is. There was a tag there with his name. They moved him from the fridge. They put him in the little room where the doctor operates and so on and so forth. They asked me to wait outside. They prepared the body. Then they brought me in and said, this is what's going to happen. You have to be strong and so on and so forth. I elected to wait outside because the person the postmortem was being conducted on was very close to me. So I elected to stand outside. When the doctor was done, he took photos with his phone and he came outside and he was showing me the photos. The body was cut up. It was cut up. The head was opened. The stomach, the chest, everything was open. And it's not a pretty sight. It is, you can't even pretend to be strong. You can't pretend to be strong. It's not something that you can do. Even a doctor can't even start doing it. Because even for the doctor, it is not a job. So that is why a family member has to accept and sign. We have to sign. You have to sign that you have accepted for them to do this. And there's police there as well. The police officers there waiting until the postmortem is done and the report is done. Okay? So it is not something that is light. And I know, and I'm ashamed of some of our countrymen who will start making fun of this and joke about this. Let me say this, and it might sound too strong. Maybe when you are the close member of your family, go through that, maybe that day, you will understand what the family, the Lungu family is going through. So for those of you who are thinking this is light and you can joke and make it a political joke, I pray that God allows you to have that experience so that you can change. Because it is not something to even joke about. It is not. It should humble everyone. You cannot have that decision made by Umuntu Yahweh. It has to be a family member. Let me go to the next thing I think that I wanted to say, Ambassador. I really think President Hakainde Hichilema and Attorney General Kabisha have abused their powers. They have abused their powers. I think those who study law, those who read the law, in advises, because I really think this is grounds for, if not for impeachment, at least for a moral resignation. But you will see that those people, those men have no morals. They will go about their lives as if they have not committed an evil against this nation and against the Lungu family, and definitely against all of Africa. The thing, the desecration that they have done to that body is against all of us on this continent. And it should sit in their hearts that we disown it as much as we disown them, because that's not Africa. That is wrong. I would call upon President Hakainde Hichilema to resign on moral grounds. Kabesha to resign on moral grounds. They have to. And all those people who have been involved in this process to resign in shame with heads bowing down. And I think that is where this issue should take us. You know, because this is bordering on witchcraft. It is bordering on abuse of authority, abuse of power. Finally, this is a personal statement I have to make and say, maybe God should, if God loves we cannot make God hate a man that he loves, definitely loves, but imposing upon us a man like this who literally has to do these things in this nation is not acceptable by any standard. If they have a major difference with Valongo, how about he goes and follows him in the afterlife? This is wrong. An apology must be made. We need to see people resigning. We need to see people being fired and so on and so forth, because that is the order that should follow after something like this. But we'll watch and see. Because Zambians must know that whatever they put in State House has no morals. And at some point when some of us say this is a Satanist, that is a Satanist, they called us names. Now there's evidence. They are cutting up people's bodies to take Ifshimba. There's no other explanation. Let me end here, Ambassador.
Thank you. Yeah, for those joining us, Honorable Makebi Zulu family spokesperson have just found the body this evening. They found it after thorough search and connections, and they found that the body was taken to Forensic Pathologist Center in Pretoria. And they found out that despite the court order being served on the police, on government, and on all authorities, Mulilo Kabesha, the Attorney General of Zambia, proceeded to authorize. There was a Zambian official, embassy official, who assigned that the postmortem should be done on the late president. There was no family member. There was no lawyer. There was no consent. There is no authority that has come from the family to conduct that postmortem. And the legal basis for the postmortem does not exist. As you saw in the statement by Mulilo Kabesha himself, he says he had gotten the body and they were bringing the body for repatriation. He took it to go and have the body cut up. And for 5 hours, they were cutting up that body, according to the records at Forensic Pathology Center in Pretoria. Makebi Zulu this evening, they are now frantically trying to prepare the body, and they are taking it elsewhere. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, Ambassador, good evening.
Good evening.
It's a very sorrowful day for the nation. And I, for one, am so sad. I'm so broken. I'm emotional. I'll take you back as a nation. Ambassador, from the time that this man took over office, we have witnessed a lot of accidents in the country. A lot of accidents. A number of them, you can go back and count and count and count. But those who practice satanism and witchcraft, they will tell you that once you sacrifice for business, business, it calls on, it still calls the uncle, it calls the other person. Now, those accusations, that is the one that has killed this here. On social media, they came, they condemned the ECL, that they mocked that he was walking, was seen in Zimbabwe walking, he was seen somewhere doing ABCD in Spain, in anything. And people almost bought that a narrative. Now, when they knew very well that this man is dying, is dead, away from all those abuse, how they abused him, they treated him as if he was not a former head of state. They did all whatever they could. They reached to the point where now they go and to go and do a postmortem on a body that does not belong to them. I have attended a number of postmortem. That exercise is not a good exercise. You have to be somebody who would witness that exercise. Even those that went to stand, they have committed a crime that there's a big deal. This is enough that God is exposing this man. Remember, I said all these accidents which has been happening in the country. Now, before elections, something is calling on him. Make sure go and get. And this is what he has done. If there was a way that we could have rejected this, we could have rejected it. But don't forget, whatever he's doing, that shall be done on him. There's no two ways about it. These cries of people, they're not crying to a dead God. They're not crying to a deaf God. They are crying to a God. I like what you said that yesterday, that this formed on God principles, and all these former presidents have been relying on God. And this God that we have been relying upon shall come to redeem this nation. And those that have committed those crimes, this is a crime against the Lungu family. Even Nangwari Mutima, you have managed to get, because the Lungu family has been paying bills even when the family is supposed to be healing. From 5th of June last year, the man has been lying in a morgue. Who is paying, just like you have mentioned, who's paying all these expenses, the bills? But even then, me at one point in my conclusion, I said death will reconnect, will the nation. In my view, because I've seen funerals of the families that we go and reconcile. We put the differences aside. And when I heard that the thing has happened, I said, okay, even when in my morning, I said, okay, we are going to reconcile as a nation. But therefore, we saw things taken to another level. We saw the children being grabbed and all those things, even without following a proper procedure. This is how much he's determined, wanting to see Balungu in his grave as a poor person. But this won't go to nothing.
Thank you, caller. Let's allow, there are so many people that want to speak. All my phones are buzzing. Let's allow as many people as possible. Something has happened the last 2 days that you and I never imagined could happen. They stole the body of the late president. They used bogus legal processes. They took the body. This was clearly well planned. They took it to forensic pathologists. They didn't take it to a funeral parlor. Murilo Kabesha was lying to the entire nation and to the world, saying they've taken the body, they've put it at a facility and they're repatriating it according to the orders of the court. Did the order of the court give them authority to conduct postmortem? So they pick the body forcibly, they take it to a place, and this morning, they conducted the postmortem for over 5 hours, from 8:30 to 13 hours. No presence of a family member, no presence of the lawyer. Just an embassy official who's not related to the late president, and the police officer, and of course the officers from Zambia. They conducted this postmortem. They found the body. It's been abandoned now at this pathology center. It's all cut up, and it went through a postmortem. People that have seen a postmortem can tell you. The Makebi Zulu, God bless him, is picking that body in that state. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador, good evening. Anonymous.
Anonymous, please make your contributions.
I'll be very quick and to the point, and I hope, even if you have followed, I'm sure everyone is hurt at this point. What I want to say, yes, Makebi can pick up the body, but I would suggest, I for one, that let them give HH this body. If he wants to eat it, let it eat it. Let's forget about taking the body of the late president. They have done what they wanted to do, and we have all witnessed it. My plea to the Zambian people, those who have known the names of those people who have been at the pathologists, let us follow those people one by one. We'll get the truth to what has happened. Some of us are actually close to where this pathologist is. We'll start searching for these names. And I wish that every Zambian should now know who is ruling them. This guy is a Satanist. This guy is a full Satan. And we need to put to an end to this come August 13th. And I know we are not going to use the ballot to remove this guy. We are not going to use the ballot because he has vowed that no one should remove him from there. This is why he has gone to this extreme of doing such, and I don't even know how I can describe this act that he has done. It's inhuman.
Thank you very much, Kola.
This is more than what Idi Amin did to his people.
Thank you.
We'll be hunting one by one.
Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
No, by Manuel, I cannot tell my name and where I'm a colleague. But I hope Makebi is able to listen to what I'm trying to say. I mean, there is no point of accepting the body that is in pieces, please. Because if you go ahead and to accept that body, it means that you also accept that Mr. Ichilema has done. It is better Mr. Ichilema finish what he has started from the beginning. This is very, very important. Unless you, Ramakebi, and the family of Baedika, you want to do something, rituals, so that the person who has collected the private parts of Baedika needed to do a revenge. Because, I mean, what is the point of getting the body? How are you going to... Because all the body of Baedika has been already, it's in pieces at the end of the day. And the reason why they didn't surrender this body or this early in the morning, because they already collected some part of the body of Baedika. So, cutting our pieces, it's just a cover-up. It's another cover-up. Now, let's say that it's Fishimba already. And as I conclude, I just want to say that you Zambians, you have to be ashamed of yourselves. Because you really waited in this morning. You waited for this moment. You are using the roads, you are using the airport, you are using the hospital, you are even using some cruises that Baedika did. Everything, any person who goes to Zambia, they can only recognize what Baedika did. Where Baedika comes from, the chief he has endorsed HH. So, I mean, what is the point? Why are you making noise on social media today? Why are you pretending even to cry? Because you have not really exposed that you are in pain. How can BBC, how can other country come and to help you if you have not shown it? In the street, I've never seen someone to go and protest. All the churches, they have not protested. Where Baedika comes from, the chief, he is sleeping, eating with their church. He is saying salt, it's good every day. So, I mean, you wanted Baedika to die in pieces like this, and you are completely cursed. Cursed. When I say cursed, whether you football, whatever, as long as you are whether you are abroad or not, nothing is going to happen. There's nothing that will be really good for you guys. You are going to pay for these pieces of the body of Baedika. I have spoken.
Thank you. We've got another caller here. Someone was saying, after looking at the timelines, someone was saying, can you imagine?
Hello?
Yeah, just a minute, caller. Can you imagine that the same time that the police and the Zambian authorities were raiding the mortuary to pick the body, the morgue, President Hakainde Hichilema was receiving Ghanaian evangelist Doug Hayward Mills, and they were talking about God. At the same time, he was fully aware that they were grabbing the body of the late president. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, good evening, Ambassador Mwamba. Ne wanan maskwa kaputa kuno.
Mkwai.
Owe, kuchaleto kututumo kuchile tuamfuile mfua. Ati walungu na wafua. Chamfuika fimbi. Yeah. Muchibemba kwa liwa tishu balanda chukufuita. kwena uwaishiwa obukali bwanfwa nonso wafwirwapo omwana abena mwakwe nabambi balupwa bamayo ba Esther Lungu iki kintu bakutindikisha ba president bakyalo kya Zambia na batoni wabo bakabesha kwena ngali pale imeko naliko omuntu wabo tinalila nabona ati bapeleni kitumbi kyonse bweleni bashireni pakwe bati judgment yakwalesa ikabe iyalingana pantu imbwekeshapo yakwalesa takuli pepo twala pepola ifishimba nabawula but ife fishimba lesa alitwe batapangiro kutifile tusansa fika sansa fyo mwine ofibulile mwesa wa makayonse awe mwe bantu ba Zambia pepe nimbwekeshapo ibwelele abene bahakainde abendera okuninendeke emilundu lesa abensha eba representative wabo bakabesha baninendeke yainde omutende yalayima ninde omutende mwose bene tasira lunga bomulepe pela ko bana lungus family mwe bantu lekeni bakwati omutima wakutira bulenyi umubiri uyo kipwiremo bantu nangu bawusende fina onse twashi komputala wakwatata nyapa nifo fine pantu rakabiro okwishima pali uluputa nomba apa bafishe inkondo mwebe na Zambia na miwese shako kunuma remember ubukangalume bwabakainde ubwakutuma chabinga ku South Africa ale ipomposha ati bajaji kulia bachita bribe mu beshibile la yelo bayingisha corruption mu cyalo mukati mu South Africa tatwishiwe fa South African government irelanda but kuliakum kushani kubasugira mbere wabalungu bayafika bayisula mpaka bapelo mubiri kukumbila kubatwala tabelosha na pama court orders na kubatwala na boma corruption yafikapo yafika inga efyo pia luinga bombefi mwe bantu bakwalesa te ululu pia mwinga kabiro okukwata ulwa kutumule titikisha abantu abekala cyalo na inkonkanisha abo kyonse awe ekyo kintu bakainde bakita imbwekesha apo yabo but lino line mwambi okulolekesha between my elections na pano tulelanda mumone ikyalamba okukitika akupepeni covering the blood of Jesus pamayanda n'abaana n'abeshukuru na kumirimu na public transport yonse na mufikubwa fyonse bantu nomba balesondolwela abayishi basatanism bwino lungu alinyante nchende shonse shingi ku Zambia so ili basusuire kwa ifipande fya mbiri wako bale panga ama demonic declarations ati kanoko taire umwine wa mubiri uyu ekota batusumine these things tumayeba tifyaufi abena Nigeria obulo shitaba bufisa bande fishinga pambiribiri bahakainde pa YouTube twali batamba balebundisha akabwato akanono nababikamo na ifitenge fya PF ati obwato bwanwena that's a satanic act ngole chitechili positive ni godly act but balebundisha PF u spiritual realm so eko fiasco kwilelo ngamulape pamwe bena Kristo pano na twampane kuibama accidents ya kulya abantu loko bakala ndati chilo bali amkushika balungu I would suggest for you as an individual don't go there panticho bakalukushako chakutira mukafulungane kukabya ati bapunko omuntu bayipayo omuntu bache n'abantu bafwa bene kabesha balya nabo bene bonse ba diplomat abo bayire imini nako bale na totela ba ambassador na totela bambi abantu balande ko na totela sala mukai.
Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Endita.
Nechi chakupapusha sana nomba ili kushoro ningepusha kuli bakumva ngakuti bakwanisha ukuyasenda body bachita postmortem bafunya nokufunya efe balefunya amushuwa kuleta kuli nefe akwe bati bachita postmortem kuli efe bafumishemo n'abana what more ero ba Edgar Lungu bali ku hospital bale undako chile piro kwe bati nemfo yaba Edgar Lungu kwabo kufaidikisha bwino marasa ngo kwe bati ifofine bachibomfya amapowers yakwe bati basenda ichitumbi baya kuchitwale ko balefwa nero ba Edgar Lungu balerwala I'm sure kuri abantu bale dilingana beno kwe bati barofyefe ba Edgar Lungu kozi ba Edgar Lungu bali threat kuri beno so marasa ngo kwe bati apatu alambo kula tunganya nomba mono kwe bati nemfo yaba Edgar Lungu umuntu afuira alipitire ko yali ne bali ku South Africa kwe bati mpinike nifyo umuntu afwe wamona Kwamba chinde chirempa kuchesha kwe bati kunu mokutwala irishanya twalelanda twalemona kwati bamupata pero balelanda tumusatanisti shani balelanda inena aleka nati bamupata nomba pero nashiningisho kwe bati unisatanist ero no muntu wako wewe kuna jero roteti ndumbule oyu sangoma wako ale celebrate abapenya nite before yesterday alelando kwe bati natusenda kale omubiri nangu tawishire kulefe twala afunya so palefe bafumishemo efo basungire abene nabeshwo kwe bali ngafyala abapfa ngafyala kitafushani lero patrol chefe kuliresa that's why bamwambana bakonfwa efo nale mono kwe bati efo nale fwa era na leader president abafe makebizuru cause makebizuru nachula sana na baedigarungu kufumero bali abomi ale bale chuchutika bali na baedigarungu na mufitumbi alefirwa nokutusha omwana wabene aisa kunokusa kuzambia ati amone mone fya ma politics fyachitika kulana nina naye kuli eure mfwa peni pamona family yaba edigarungu that's why ngali wino ba opposition bonse inefo ningatemu mwatungira fyo ine makebizuru so that ya peni ntwale mfwa pali ba edigarungu aisa kwato ukwisaba fwairi kishaba abantu findu bale chitefi tafewe mena ngpano mumone imagine president afuma muno mcharo akonka fe body yaba edigarungu kuli abasenda private libe nangu ni motoka wa mwamba mwalikwatana bakonfwa akwata motoka tetuyo twalire badaba engineer kwe bati bafunze sure buti weta uli past we mwino wa motoka ala making sure yabale sura buti ube pomone bushe muri butu balaka kula ko tumona nguyo numba basendere fe private baya le pulo mubiri katushinga nindusha basendere nga mavu na difinshi na beshi babene jonse fo fishimba so mwebe karachalo mwai mwena mwai umfira yali ntwalera ndokwe batwale tunganya kwe ba satanist nyoyo mundu numba pafya iranga fya pa utatutu namonekera lero leso mwine ewa alamukanda sentwikatane fwe bekala chalo fwe bena Zambia tumone kwe batamaka ya kwalesa teti achishe umusatanist satana bali mwipe nga satanist bushamaka alafu makwisa twala muchimsha na owini nangola sendendusha na senda finch takwa befu kuko fyala mpisha na ngufima bamwamba namfubula ndasa nepo namona bamwamba mwana mulira mshwa that's why mwachisa vikira kofe na kavo kwe bati mumoneka na mulira mule moneka fena pamenzo kwe bati bamwamba ichi chintu lero chamfisha apavi na makebizuru ine kula na moneka fena oino kwe bati na chimfisha apavi ichi chintu ichi lero tureke reference omwine ewishibe ne bofintu basendere ka bafisende refe ya dandre ba sister bakwa Edgarungu kwe bati kalo barefu akofimo bafisanga no mafintu alesandre lero ndefu kwe bati uteko bukesapo uyu inati kabesho no muntu wakwe irefu ayikwefunde likabatandale bakalande bwino efo basendere kulya cause basendere fintu private ba family tabaliko tabeshi befo bafumishe mukati nangu bafunya ko veka stake akanono nangu fe akanono batsuna kofi nishina basende fintu lero twalekera fereso mwine na ifo twala pingo kumono kwe bati August 13 ireisa kumono kwe bati tulete kwa nama satanist twakana atotera wamwa.
Thank you very much. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yes, this is Bonwa Kunda calling from Kawe, Zambia.
Yes, Bonwa.
Kwa iwa Emmanuel Mwanwa, ndevo kulanda kufena ine, pele ashiri. Le ashiri mwende shueme sana mchalo chesu cha Zambia. Kaita fya atala chitika po kufumana kale. Iliri ashiri haifi, yaleta sana umsewanya, kairi no buloshi mchalo chesu cha Zambia. Lelo ifwe, tuwalasha fionse minu ya kwa Yehova leso mwene. Batiche chitiketa chwe menga nshingo butungulushu buinga tutungulu lokutwala kuntanshi lelo batufirwa nokule Stephen tukutulanga fwe bali kunume chinto yesu tatulingira okutushita fwe bayichi fwe bale isa kunuma nomba tulole shepo bushenga chapichirisha ngefi ndakudi fwe uyo bachitecha musango yewe fwe bali fiefie chikabanga shanje lelo twalafisha fyonse mino ya kwa Yehova leso mwene ningu atesubiro no kutetekero ko bati Yehova leso mwene nangoenga senda pati ya msangoshani ijo pati asendere ala tani ngokumupani ko mwene ko asendere cho chinecha alamu chusha kabire chikantwala nanko tukonsoko Bible akundi kwa tichirambu cha lubembu nimfwa tulepe papa kamwishinali kwa Yesu Kristo chonse fyo bachitire fyonso fo basendere kotafya kwa toku bomba pantu ifwe tosumina mwishinali kwa Yesu. Zambia is a Christian nation na totera sana bamwamba.
Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador Magnus. Let me just be anonymous because I'm a youth in Zambia. I just want to say I am very disappointed. And this government is the greatest mistake that has ever happened to our country. It's a shame. There's nothing that we can see. Imagine me, a young person. What have they taught me from what they've done? Because all I know is that postmortem, there's always a family member, even someone representing the family. You understand? What was the lash to do whatever they have done? It's a shame. It's a shame. And this is the greatest mistake that this is not how Zambia is known. You understand? I know there are fools who are supporting because they are benefiting financially from this administration. But what precedent have we set ourselves as the country? These are some of the questions that you need to be asking. You understand? It's not about the UPND. It's about Zambia. Imagine treating the all former head of state like an animal without any family. As if it's just someone they pick from the street and then they go and do a postmortem there. Countrymen and women, where is our morals as a country? What kind of a country have we become, Zambia? Even an ordinary citizen, no one allows a postmortem to be done on him or her without a family member. What more, a whole former head of state? And fools are celebrating. What kind of a country have we become? I'll just say, I'm young, I'm hate. All I can say is that whosoever was involved in this are cursed. And this that they've planted, sooner or later they will harvest. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, young man. Your line was bad, but I think we got the gist of your comment. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
This is Precious Inonge from Livingstone.
Precious, make your contributions.
Yes, I just want to contribute on the same issue of the body of ECL. This government, they are danger to the nation. And now I'm sure even those who are wise with wisdom, they've seen that indeed he don't mean well. And for him, he thinks like because the president, he can abuse the office of the president. He's using those instruments of powers to do whatever he wants. For him, it's not all about the people of Zambia, but it's all about himself. So, people of Zambia, please, we beg you in God's name, let us all be united. Every time I tell you, let us all be united and make sure that we keep.
Thank you, Precious. I think we got what you are saying. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contributions.
Good evening, Mwamba.
Good day.
I think I'll never even say my name because Mulindoshi Mucharo cha Zambi. My contribution is those people who have done those things, the embassy, they have to be reported. Even the police who were involved, they have to be reported. Then the body of ECL, since they have done what they wanted to do, let the body of ECL tell Ramakebi not to get the body of ECL. Let Ramakebi give the body to Kabesha and the HH so that Wapwirikisho mudimo wabo. Then what they're supposed to do is to report everyone. Those embassy people were involved at the embassy. This is not something that it's a case. It's a criminal. So they have to report them. They have to go and explain themselves because we have never seen people can get bored ishiri yabo bayamukuire paula bayamukuchito kwabula the family kwabula anyone. So your body Makebi na mama Esther be poka body you pele ba HH baipwisho kuyalya na ba mtinta na ba Kabesha baipwisho kuyalya munganda myabo.
inecho nalanda kuba bamwamba bantu chinechi chatu nintalala ine pano nintalala kwa ndifye mu mashuzi aba mama Esther shisho for mama Esther bale mkwa tatu atala mbonapo kateka wife kateka wampampa mina ushumfwa kubantu chumbu munchololwa uwaire n'amafikubuko eba echecha aba niba chumbu munchololwa so mubiri bapere bakikishe inchito batampire nemfwa aba ECL twashiboko yafumine ko bati yafumine kuli ba echecha nakabesha natotera bamwamba.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
This is Didrik calling from Papa Bill.
Please make your contribution.
Postmortem kulabo okuita family. Ifyo batitira bayisiyo efikwati mu shatinshi. Bali kweta bakashi bali kweta abana bali kweta omwana wabo omwaume. Wakuyasangwa hapo. Bantu postmortem kulabo kusangwa hapo bululu. Icho bayisiyo baba kisirange ekinama kingi. Bayisiyo iko bale Paula postmortem kuba kulepula kunuma twalisangwa hapo mu postmortem nana alisangwa hapo. Bale pusha wala shipa. Tati nga walanda t-shirt pe wafayo wakuingira. Bamwambera baba lipawire bayisiyo. Bachi bafule kwala bali bafuikire limu bali bakitayimba. Batwele kwisefu kwalabu. Kwe na mulaika nkamika. Alamula sendesha hapa kubeya. Imwe mula sendesha hapa kubeya mwandini nangu mwali komefya ashani. Afape na sendesha hapa kubeya. Tefo chifuiri okuba. Isi oshuwa fe kutuma mkonkela la mchidi na muufwa. Mwamuleko mnenu waya nakakauka. Nilano shuwa ni poison shio mwachitile kwena abantu bachile kwena nafwa. Chapo na tushirike. Wapana mpaka mkatore ati kushirika. Aole keni bapuishi. Kutaba esto mtangoyu. Baesta nita basungi. Abakoshe na bakotsa. Na tasmila mukose ichika chayangu kana chifumweleza to goja kyali umukali sana mchana ale pita dotu doku tukabenda chutu ifali goja titachawe mweka tachawe mecha shiresanga goliati mwe bantu bose mwe bantu kwandani kwena mtama kufikwa tuwateka mchano tuwateka Natao wao dina mmoja bache kuta ishu mulifya banzo tamuli mtu muna tamuli bamunda bamwambaine tabaya bakutumani kwele kuna tishi maisi na obai Waisi oniti bachubira usumwele sa thank you God God help us.
Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, Ramwamba.
Yes, my dear sister.
Yes,
Queen Pumi.
Yeah, so I'll keep it short. I just want to say this is a crime scene. The place where President Makebi is a crime scene. He should not take the body from there. They should report this matter to South Africa Police and Interpol. And the suspect is the people who signed for that mutilation and the Zambia police officers who were there. Mama Esther Lungu, I know Nachfina, you have been there for 10 months, but this is even a bigger challenge where I think to get justice for your husband, you have to give up that body. Because now, Vachita mutilate body, they have decapacitated that body. The person who is remaining, everybody folks in the Makebi Zulu, is not Valungu. So, I think let us use the law as much as we are praying. They are using the law, even manipulating the law. They have used the law and manipulated the law to decapacitate Valungu. ng'ekinama ekyakweba fyati mwakakaulelwa tisendeni mwisendo omubiri ba Esther ino okyala afinda bamakebi fumeni koko niko crime scene report it. That is what I have caught. Let's get justice so that this thing never happens again. If we take that body and go quietly, there will be more bodies will be decapacitated. If they can do this in a foreign land, imagine in Zambia. What will be happening to all of us who are standing against him? So Zambians, let's put a stop to this. Apapeni apopo fyala pwida n'okupwida. Mwisendo mubiri ulia wenyo wachisaina kuliauka yashika balungu. Elo takuli Zambia nyukema. Achare nkushika balungu kulia. This is my opinion, I can say it. Na imwe baburu balungu mwe basenderi oko ati muri kubelvedere mkushika balungu. Have some shame. If you are listening longeni nefi ola mwelele mo kumushi. Thank you, Ambassador. I can say bad things.
Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, Mwamba. This is Mama T.
Yes, Mama T.
Calling from within Mukaka.
Yes, Mama T.
Lero ichiriro chamba futi all over again. Mwamba. Lero nshala ndefindi. Lero shona lalanda defanda ndekuchalo kwebati. Ba family aba ECL. Bati kwisa because abantu bombwene pofyeine ni bamayo bana Esther na babesa banti na bana. And then kuchipata kumyesu kutwalikwate mfumu. Muletishani mwatulekeresha. Twalikwate mfumu kuchipata mwatulekeresha. Ama bishops, ama reverends twakwata muno Zambia. What are you saying about this? Are you all going to be quiet, just like you've been for the last 4 years? Mwala bafye quiet, fifine tondolo kwati menshi aya mfriji. Honestly speaking, bamwamba nangu ine pano yawe ine Mama T. Ngabalefa ya ukushita conduct postmortem pa mubiri wanti. Uwalupwala bapo. And then, you know, that there are some things that we do. ECL was the president of this nation. He wasn't an ordinary man, where people would just sneak in a morgue, get his body, but to are you sure what you've done today? You Namustefisuma Mayaka Kaulo Mubiriwa, former head of state, without any relative, without even informing, okay, you are saying whatever you are doing it for us, the citizens. You want to give ECL dignified burial because of us, the citizens. Number if you want star, is it for us or is it for you? Awe, le somu waga munyulu na chisuminisha era machirasta if you want to machirasta le so poachiba. So le so you win or to ala tuliro you mulanzo. Awe le sale mi para baka inde na nkane na group yenu. Awe muri bakadi apa pena matenshe chalo. Ala natina na kwato mweso. Ndatina, but this time around natina. Awa muri bakadi tata. Muri bakadi. Thank you, Armand.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name, I'll remain anonymous for now, Ambassador.
Thank you, anonymous.
You know, from yesterday to now, it feels like 5th June 2025 when we lost our president, Edgar Chagwa. Ambassador, when you look at the calls that you've gotten yesterday, today, it tells you of the pain the people are going through right now. And you asked a very simple question. If us who are far away from Balungu at a distance, yes, he was closer to us because he was the father of the nation. But the pain that we are going through just by this news, what more Bamamava Esther Lungu? What more Tasila? What more Daliso, Chieso, and the rest who are close to the family, Bamamava Betha? What more, what pain are they going through? Mwebantu bakwalesa. You know, I've been trying to find the best words to describe this process. I've come not to any term that I can use to describe the people who are involved in this whole process. For me, all I can say is this is evil, inhuman, no ubuntu. Vamayo vamutinta, hichilema. You are a mother of a nation. What have you done in this moment when everybody's saying, why have you done this to a woman who's crying by Mama Esther Lungu? You've been quiet. You've never said nothing in this whole process. Vamayo, ichiri pamunove, ichiri napaliwe. The church is quiet. Traditional leaders are quiet. Non-NGOs, they are quiet. We have NGOs that stand for human rights, the Human Rights Commissioner. Despite being a government department, at least they should be able to stand with us. Yesterday, somebody asked you, Bamamba, where is the internet? Answered very well. It's because they are with him. They don't care. But it's up to us Zambians to liberate ourselves from this inhuman treatment that we've been subjected to by President HH. And I see a lot of UPND cadres trying to support this nonsense, trying to say all sorts of evil things, and putting the name of Makebi, throwing mud on the name of Makebi is a shame on all of them. Those who are insulting Makebi. It's a shame to you who are insulting the family of Balungu. It's a shame to all those who are insulting Balungu. In his death, he going through that. People have said here, no one can have a postmortem without a family member. Who allowed it? It is uncalled for. It is inhuman. It's evil. Let's respect ourselves. And then you Zambians, you go and start saying a lot of bad things. One of them is Chirufya Tayari. Should I hear Chirufya Tayari? Open your mouth because your mouth stinks like diarrhea. Should I hear? I've already heard Lillian say a lot of things. She should shut her mouth. Sia one has said a lot of rubbish, let him shut the mouth. Ba Koswe, Ba Watchdog, they've said a lot of things. Chela Tukuta. All these people, and everybody, I'm going to say this. Everybody who has put their stupidity voices to support this nonsense, they are all cursed. Cursed are you, all of you. Because you want to shame a woman who is crying, Bamamava Esther Lungu, the family, the children. You are all cursed. Your generation is cursed. Because you deserve to be cursed. These words, they shall manifest in your lives. The pain the woman is going through is the pain you all go through by the ridicule that you've put that woman under, and the children, and the family. Bamamba, it's inhuman. No Ubuntu. And I see the opposition quiet. Like, hey, Makebi, let it be on Makebi. Hey, No, let's put politics aside. This can happen to each and every one of you. But you are all quiet. And I hear people going to Belvedere Lodge to go and put themselves there as family. You are all cursed. Shame on you, all of you.
Thank you, my dear sister. Let's pick some more calls. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
This is from Livingston.
Bamwewa, landeni po.
Zambians first of all, and encourage them that the spirit of Edgar Lungu, body of Edgar Lungu, like what Honorable Makebizuru had mentioned when we were about to bury in South Africa. The body of Edgar Lungu shall not touch dust until the truth is known and revealed. So, Edgar Lungu is late right now, and the body is lightless. But his spirit is still hovering around and trying to send a message to the Zambian people. What we witnessed the past few days, Bamwamba, is a message that is coming from Dr. Edgar Chagwa, that the Zambians must know the kind of leaders who are in charge of our country today, the kind of heart they have. If you feel they're trying to cover up something or they're trying to achieve something, but it is just bringing more and more shame on them. And I wouldn't imagine how a genuine UPND supporter is feeling today. I wouldn't imagine. If we are okay with it, I don't know. But it is also another message that Edgar Lungu is sending to the opposition to say, time for fighting. Takuli. This is time to unite, because ululubuli tulerwa lubuli lwakoba okutira ati mukyalo kyabene kuyingira by force mumochari nokusenda body by force nokuya kiteto bali fire by force. Okay, now it is demonstrating something to say, if they can still to send the body without permission, what more elections where kyonse bali controller bali ngisha bakapokera mu mfisora bali 4,000. Okay, bali pisha bill 7 court yali kan bali pisha bill 7. So ululu no mbulu do isabela Zambia for baishi bati one single individual cannot manage this battle. It's too big. But only if as Zambians twaipela nokubomba without any pay. Then the other thing, looking at how things are moving right now, and looking at what is unveiling, especially to our party president, Honorable Makebizuru, I would suggest that the platform, yes, we around in their different provinces, they identify themselves, connect, so that we start mobilizing. If only the WhatsApp group for all our members up, then we start coordinating in provinces. Wherever bari mpepi bambe okuchita mobilize ukuri konse ko bari bambe okuchita mobilize tuirekera bamakebizuru rwekoro tuirekera nango opposition rwekoro. Let us take it upon ourselves as Zambians to coordinate, so that by the time we are getting to August, coordinate we need a lot of coordination. And by using your experience in public service and the elections, I think you can coordinate us very well, so that we get down to the ground and start uprooting these roots that have terrorized the Zambian people. The last message, I'm sending this message to the family, to Dr. Edgar Chagwa. Family Abalungu, Mama Esther Lungu, if you think to we as a country are behind you, and we are including you in our prayers. Whatever it is, just put them in the hands of God. Otherwise, you've been through a lot. But there is a message that Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu is trying to send to this country, Mother Zambia. You have to be proud of Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu. He is a hero. He's a fighter. He brought development. And development is Edgar Chagwarungu.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Daniel from Cape Town.
Daniel, make your contributions.
These 2 days have been a sorrowful, I don't know how to describe these 2 days, but I'm sure now UPND for the podcast. For the past 2 days, you've heard how many women, ever since this podcast started, this is the time that women have caught in numbers. Eroshi Williamu Anakashi, Padina Baretipa, Padia Barera and Defikuru, UPND Tabaka Fume Pofiapa, Nafiambo Kurubana, and those that went to collect the bodies, they Nava Shara Tamuakwata immunity. You should find another Zambia. We don't want another one to come up with such a heart. Ushoba Kavesha and the UPND Variava supporter that Zambia is not a place. Ya kuchitira mufia kukana kwa temiti manga abantu. So they should find another country. He in the 13th August, Bakayoko Avemikimesha Ifesha, what even in his death, in his weakest point, you fought him when he was alive. He gave you the seat that you wanted. He never struggled to give you, or he never held it. He went into retirement until you brought him back. And for the idea, for the people who are saying, Baba Shide, see how they are going to, what they are going to do with the body. And the people of Zambia, they had signs. Now, whenever UPND they support that, he's done away with President Edgar Lungu's body. Nombara konkera imweve na Zambia. Mwewa kwati nga wakana ko. Baka kuchita fimo fine. And lastly, the people that were saying, oh, Edgar Lungu endorsed me, Edgar Lungu did this, I was the one who was found with him, he said this. Where are you today? It's only Makepi Zulu who's in South Africa today. Nanguteimova family spokesperson or whatever position Makepi Zulu is doing, you could have been there to support, to be with the family that you were saying Edgar Lungu supported me. Our heroes this time is Honorable Mwamba, who's on the podcast when he's supposed to be sleeping. It's JJ Banda, who's always informing us of what is happening. It's Makepi Zulu who's there with the family when it's happening. Not
thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You are not there for them.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Let's listen to this voice note Honorable Chimbakambwidi has just sent me. I haven't listened to it. I'm listening to it for the first time. Just a minute.
Lesa mpale kabilesa twalilile okumpala pamnyinane i-50 tike pali balungu tafiwa emena ngipano ero tetinche tekele okutila abantu bonse abetwa ba PF nangwa bena Zambia bonse vatontonkanya bwino kuti vakwata okucelebrata nangola okulapindikapo amashiwi pali uyu mulandu ubisana mulandu wa musevanya mulandu wa chikonko mulandu wa chitirishi umuntu ilio talafa mwa mushupa neri afa mwala msudu alechita chiweme nangu panono iseni wonse tubiki olupalo wa balungu na balungu umapepo umaiche wesu wine makebilu tumupepeleko pako ati esho kwa folu kwa. It doesn't matter whether ale folela po or tale folela po. It is important chakutila bonse sentubike mitwe pamo tuafu olupalo wa balungu tuafwe na bonse abena Zambia abo chakumabalila info ya balungu. Ichibemba chitila ushukutukila mtembo wa mubiye no wakwe wine upokwa. Ngata wapita mukupakaswa kuti wamona kwati chintu changuka ichintu nachifina. May President Edgar Lungu so rest in peace and we should put him in our prayers. Particularly, I would not want this discussion on this blog here, which is being called CK supporters, for people to be negative towards Walungu, towards Makebi Zulu. Bonsabale ya filisha sentualike umapepo. Lesa mupale. Lesa amutangilile. Lesa amikile muchifuba na mumitima yenu. Mukwate inkumbu. Pafio ulupalo Walungu lulepitamu. Chishimba Kambwiri signing off.
Thank you very much. I've just received that broadcast from Honorable Shimbaka Mbwili. You know, he's a senior member of our party and is a senior member in our country. He's former Minister of Labour, former Minister of Foreign Affairs, and has been a presidential candidate both in the PF and previously under NDC. He says he's been trying to reach me. You know, there are so many calls. So then he has just sent a voice note that he has requested that I play. So let me just play it again because people wouldn't have known who was calling. It's Honorable Shimba Kambwiri. Let me just play that audio again.
Ramnyinane wonse pasike supporters. Lesa mpale, kabilesa twalile okumpala. Ramnyinane i-50 tika pali Walungu tafiwe menangu pano. Elote tinche tekele okutila. Abantu wonse abetu aba PF. Nangwa bena Zambia wonse watontonkanya bwino. Kuti bakwata okucelebrata nangola okulapindikapo amashiwi pali uyu mulandu ubisana mulandu wa musevanya mulandu wa chikonko mulandu wa chitirishi umuntu ilio talafa mwa mushupa neri afa mwala msudu alechita chiweme nangu panono iseni wonse tubiki olupalo wa balungu na balungu umapepo umaiche wesu wine makebilu tumupepeleko pako ati esho kwa folu kwa. It doesn't matter whether ale folela po or tale folela po. It is important chakutila bonse sentubike mitwe pamo tuafu olupalo wa balungu tuafwe na bonse abena Zambia abo chakumabalila info ya balungu. Ichibemba chitila ushukutukila mtembo wa mubiye no wakwe wine upokwa. Ngata wapita mukupakaswa kuti wamona kwati chintu changuka ichintu nachifina. May President Edgar Lungu so rest in peace and we should put him in our prayers. Particularly, I would not want this discussion on this blog here, which is being called CK supporters, for people to be negative towards Walungu, towards Makebi Zulu. Bonsabale ya filisha sentualike umapepo. Lesa mupale. Lesa amutangilile. Lesa amikile muchifuba na mumitima yenu. Mukwate inkumbu. Pafio ulupalo wa Walungu lulepitamu. Chishimba Kambwiri Signing off.
Thank you, Honorable Chimbakambudi. Thank you for that voice message. He said you had been trying to reach me, and I'm glad that we played a voice note that he has distributed even to his supporters, giving guidance. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
I'm on now.
Yes, caller, please tell us your name, introduce yourself.
Amamba, this is
Bakafwimbi Australia, Landenipo, Mkwai.
I am glad I'm speaking after my brother Kamburivi, who, he's a very close friend to my young brother. And it's an honor to speak after him, after his voice note. This thing...
Oh, the line is cut. Bakafwimbi Australia, please call back. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, Bamamba. Mwabombeni mkwai.
Mwabombeni, mwabani mkwai, make your contribution.
Bano niba mama nyirenda ndetu mina kusuvalest.
Mkwai London pomani.
Bamamba ukutampa femairo, tulefiro okudya, tulefiro okulala. Pabula ndobule chitika mchalo chesu. Ushetulea kuisa. Lipe ponstwala pepa. Ukwaba chilesa tumfwe pano pacharo cha Zambia. Bushe barungu kwecho barushanya pacharo. Chashani. Abantu kuya kosafi emtima zona. Ukuya sendo muntu. Ukuya putura. Baburu wako tabalipo zona. Nangu kufimbiro omuntu uko. Nangu kupata omuntu uko. Amaka yo bakwete okufuma muno mukyalo kuya ku South Africa. Maka ya shani bamwamba. Ubulanda obukulu kuli family ya Balungu. Lero kyonalako sera kya family ya Balungu. Mufisuma, mufibi, totereni balesa. Bantu fyo mulepitamo. Lesa wala fikwanisha. Na utungalanda shani. Kumaka Yesu tatwa kwanishe. Lero lesa mukulu. Lilile kuli lesa. Bantu lesa tafirwa. Amapanga njira pali benjira. Safulumira sachedwa alina nthawi yake. Ali kwa tenstale seyo akesa mkumulubulula imwe family ya Balungu. Tulemilombelako kulilesa mkulu zona chuta wa mpulikirani lusungu chuta wa kutondeka yai chuta wa kupanga ndoa bopalije. Yehova pulikani mapempero yitu atukulilila familia wa Edgar Chagwalungu. Kwa isa tinga chita ya Yehova chitadada tikutondeka. Kwene imwe ndi mwachuta wa ngongono chuta wa lusungu chuta wa kutondeka ya Yehova chuta wa dada. Pulikani kulila kwitu Yehova chuta wa moyo. Kozani familia ya Edgar Chagwalungu Yehova chuta wa dada. Mukati pempani kwa ine tikupempa kwa imwe. Mukati lombani tukulomba kwa imwe tukumaya kuchimwe ni mwachuta wa ngongono chuta wa lusungu chuta wa kutondeka yai. Wana binu ba Israeli wakafika pakati pa nyanja wakalomba pempero lini chuta mkawapulika. Familia ya Edgar Lungu yatangwanika pakati pa nyanja Yehova chuta wa moyo. Koma pulikani kulila kwao na pempero ili bakupempera kwa imwe vose vakuchumpamo Yehova chuta wa moyo. Talekera maoko mwindada chuta. Pulikani Yehova kulila kwa chalo cha Zambia Yehova chuta wa dada. Nyengo tilipo sono ni nyengo iwemi ya Yehova chuta wa dada. Imwe ndimo mkumanya vose vikuchumpamo Yehova chuta wa moyo. Kwa isa tikandinga kwa nisa Yehova chuta wa dada. But imwe mkwanyisenga kusungurwini na kungongono zinu na kutemwa kwinu Yehova chuta wa dada. Chifua ngongono zinu zikulu Yehova chuta wa moyo. Vose Yehova mkapekanya ndimo. Nipo imwe mkavimanya chuta wa dada. Nchota rombaka kwa imwe mweka Yehova chuta wa moyo. Kungongono zinu na kurusungurwinu. Mwana winu Yesu Kristo wakafwa pampinjika kuzaombola za kwa nanga zitu dada chuta. Ngwati kwa kuti sono familia ya Lungu Yehova chuta wa mwenga pitanga mumoto wanje uyu. Bamambo lusolu kuli familia ya Balungu lero lesa. Abakosereshe. Abafwe. Epo bari tapaweme. Batileso mwine naishi. Fika pita ikawa ni life history ya chalo chino. Lero chonse cho wachita. Leso ukasombo. Bakasombo la muli lesa. Kumaka estate tukwanishe. bamwamba natotera mlale bwino lesa mipale bamwamba insta enu mlebomba bamwamba tuleshwa kwa fintu ifingi bantu umbi tete achitefyo lero nangu muli kuchalo cha bene bamwamba pitilisheni ukubomba natotera bamwamba mlale bwino.
Thank you very much. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and give us your contribution.
Yes, am I through to the program?
Yes, you are.
Yes, this is Mr. Zulu Thomas from the Gen Z movement in Lusaka.
Mr. Zulu, make your contribution.
Yes. I've cried a lot today. I've prayed to get this courage to talk to you through your program. You see, what has happened, Mr. Mwamba, even in the world, I think this should be the first. Edgar Chagwalungu was persecuted after he lost power, persecuted when he retired from politics, persecuted when he came back, and worse off now persecuted in death. There is nowhere where you can conduct a postmortem using fake information of what you are trying to investigate to find out what killed him. Everything was said on the death certificate. What else was this government trying to do? I can assure you, Mwamba, the whole Zambia is quiet today. Get into a Yango minibus, bars everywhere. They were tuning into programs that were actually running live this morning about the ECL. His body being moved from 2 mountains, the postmortem which has been done without the presence of any family member. You see? And the mishandling of that body up to now. I think this UPND government has brought a case on themselves. They've campaigned themselves. And through this program, we are urging the Zambians to see what KK told us, who this HH is. And these are the things that we are seeing for ourselves. We didn't listen when KK told us. Now we are seeing it. I'm urging Zambians, opposition leaders, as Mr. Mwamba has always been also calling, let's unite. Let's all of us drop our egos. Let's unite. Let's field one candidate and remove these guys. Because if we allow this guy to go through, Zambia will be finished. And more persecution will continue. Most of the people that are outside Zambia now won't come back. You see? Because most of them are targets. Maybe even for assassination, maybe for killing, for jailing. We don't know. And the brutality is now even extending to a dead person. No. As Zambians, I think in August, let's do the right thing and vote these guys out. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this point in time, as I've said already, I've not come across a single man in politics who is today thinking of spreading Zambia. Apart from this is my head man in Zimbabwe, this is the southern province. What is it? He tried to do that, I think, but he didn't succeed. This what is
okay, so we
no, I think he will finish it as well.
Okay.
This is my southern province. What is he? The man is running his party.
Which one? Magande?
No. Oh, no.
He comes from Southern Province.
Southern Province, yes. This man,
Hakainde Hichilema.
Hakainde.
Hakainde Hichilema.
Hichilema.
Hakainde Hichilema.
Who running is
UPND?
UPND, right. Apart from that, there's no other leader I can fear to run this country. All these others who have running parties, I can't see any one of them.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. I think in Wakafumbi from Australia, you got cut. Wakafumbi, make your contributions.
Yes, Mwamba. I don't know how we lost connection. This event, I said, is something we never thought about, even when you were starting the EMV, that the Fike Safiko. And I was very happy to to be speaking after my brother Bakambwidi, Honorable Kambwidi, who is very close to my young brother. And the Okofia Chitikefin Briefy, you know, because I called home, I'm very close to the oldest and alive retired officers. You know, but remember these words that I'm going to say, they are not part of you on this EMV. I don't want them to be brought to you or whatever. These are my words because this affects all of us. Because one, AHH is going to be a president. Museveni. What people don't realize is that there is a Museveni. That's a little Museveni. You see, because I've never called him out, and I'm calling him out today. That man, where illegality is concerned, ni Museveni. The guy is a criminal when it comes to law. So, if you're it is not a board, it is not a shame for him. He doesn't care. That is one fact that you know. We give him well, yes, let our young brother Makebi Zulu go and do the best that he's going to do. Let him do the best that he's going to do to rectify whatever they have done. I'm just saying I'm post that they've even abandoned or whatever and he's trying to sort things out. You know, this is so sad. You know, when you look at the Pamen Sopari Chikavesha, you know, like my father said, Nindoshi. Yes, Nindoshi. And I said, no, Kabesha Fetendoshi. Even HH, me, I'll call him Nindoshi. When you look at these people, Endoshi also Balanda. And these are my words. Endoshi Syria. Because of what they are doing, disappear. It is what you are doing, Evulosi, Endoshi. Because she thinks what her husband is doing is okay. These are my words, they are not your words. But in the end, you know, Palace, you can't, because you are in the freedom on a BP. Nasad. Because and they are going to run this country with the way opposition is tontonga. Evalosh, not Quatavalosh, our remote. Panarumango Balos. She should be able to control if it is that Umunabo. Kwena Nalanda, I think it's a pretty fimbio for Ingalanda. My brother Emma.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Makafumbi from Australia. Thank you very much. Family, we should be winding up on top of the hour. We've been on the broadcast for the last 3 hours. We wanted you to speak. The cause remains so many. I know a lot of Zambians still want to speak, but we'll be closing on top of the hour. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
All right, you're talking to Sydney.
Sydney, make your contributions.
Yes, Mr. Mwamba, I want to ask you some few questions. This issue of Edgar Lungu's funeral or body, where do you think the problem is? You, as far as I'm concerned, you are a senior citizen. You've served this country in so many capacities. So I would want you to, tell me, where do you see the problem? Like, where do you think the problem is in regards to this issue of our late former president's funeral? Because for me, from my understanding, I don't really think it's right for us as a country, as patriots of this nation to allow our former president to be buried in a foreign land. And I think it's
My brother, let me answer you that quickly.
the right thing for the government.
Hello. Hello, are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Hello?
No, I can't. I'm not. Yes.
Are you listening to me?
Something?
Yeah. Now let's not have a protracted debate. Let's not be insensitive. The family wants to bury the late president in Zambia. That's number one. They had said because President Hakainde Hichilema didn't want to respect the wishes of the late president, he wanted to conduct the funeral, be at the funeral. They said they would temporarily bury in South Africa. And they had prayed that one day there will be a government that will respect the wishes of the late president and they'll bring the body back to Zambia. This is not strange. There are a lot of remains that have been put in elsewhere, but finally they rest in their own country. Kwame Nkrumah died in Romania and was buried in, I think, in Guinea because there was a government that was hostile to him. They never said they don't want the late president not to be buried in Zambia.
Sorry to cut you short. Listen, Mr. Mwamba, when the late president went to South Africa, he went for routine medical checkups. You remember, right? Hello?
My brother, say your piece, say your point.
Okay, so my point is this. Look, Mr. Mwamba, what we are doing, we are just undressing our country. And people from outside this country, they're laughing at us, you know. What I can tell you is this. Balungu did not leave any wishes. Balungu did not go to South Africa as a patient. He went there for routine checkups. Therefore, he did not know.
This is why I'm saying you should be sensitive, okay? You should be very sensitive. Don't bring lies here. President Lungu, just listen. President Lungu had been trying to go to hospital since 2022. President Lungu has had a medical condition since 2015. Do not come here to peddle and annoy people. We are just about to close. He didn't go to South Africa for routine medical checkup. He had been trying to go to hospital for 3 years. Okay? Anyway, there are people that come here just to annoy us, and they're very insensitive to the times, and they want to peddle the lies that they tell themselves. Okay, let me take the last 3 calls and then we can close. Hello, call up. I want to take the last few calls before we close. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I'm Anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution. Namwala. Yes, make your contribution from Namwala.
Bamwamba, Bakabesha, they have done what they wanted. And as a concerned citizen, I would demand a report from Bakabesha. And the reason why he requested for that post-mortem. So let Kabesha tell the nation or give the report to our Zambian nation, because we all want to know what if the findings of that post-mortem. Secondly, Bamwamba, Busheba Maivana Rumango. Barasanga uma meeting nangu barachita ku advise ba president babo. Busheba Maiva Mutinda. Kuti bati mo kupita mo vile pita mo abana abo nangushane. Are you telling me ngababa president kunganda tababa barume? Nishite to take a pension to my husband. What you are doing or what is happening in the country is not a good thing. Bushe kwena fie ngabana kashifo na ishofya bana kashe. Na ngfeni mo bene ba mwamba kwena bushe kuti batsumisha bana mwamba ku chitefe file chitika mucharo. Amushona ngubaka shwestu bachita ku advise. And who are the churches of these so-called bishops? Sure, They can't advise the president or the judiciary through Bakabesha Shua. Where is the morals of us Zambians? Bamwamba ask Bakabesha to give us a report. Me, I need a report because postmortem was started around 8:30 to 13 hours. 5 hours is a long time. He should give us a report. The findings he found that postmortem. We need to know what he found there. Bamwamba na shitukalipa tuwalande fingi na totel.
Thank you. Family will be closing. Thank you for your support and thank you for your cause, but we'll be closing on top of the hour. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Anonymous, Ambassador, how are you?
Very well, my brother. We are not well, we are in mourning, but you can make your contributions.
Yeah, sure. Mine, Wamwamba. I'm calling from Copper Belt, to be specific. So the thing is, I have a problem here with the South African government. I want you to educate me where possible, because my understanding is our president was in a sovereign land, and we understand that South Africa is a land of laws, and they respect funerals, and they've got laws that govern how funerals should be conducted. So now, I'm wondering, how is it possible that people were allowed to do what they did on the board of our lady president without any restraint on the part of the South African authorities? Remember, Ambassador, this is the government, the South African government, that had traveled to Zambia to come and confirm the death of our former president, to mean that they were officially informing the nation, the government, and its people over the death of our former president. But today, how do they allow the Zambian officials to access that body and conduct the so-called postmortem so that the situation, because the certificate of death was issued, the information was given. So now, why did the South African government stay aloof when all these things have been left to happen like this, exposing the already grieving family to more pain? I think this is an indictment on the part of the South African government. I don't understand the levers of governance in that country, but the little that I've learned is that they respect the rule of law, and their courts are independent. So what has happened today, Amanda? I'd love you to educate us on that one, because to me, I feel disappointed, and I really don't understand why they can allow that on their sovereign land. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and give us your contributions.
Hello, Mwamba Mwawombeni.
Mkwaimayo Barishani, who's calling?
Niba nameless Mwamba.
Nameless, make your contribution.
Mwamba, I won't be so long, in the sense that I'm shocked because today's development has been the worst so far. Mwamba, ifilamba fyabanda lungu, ifilamba.
Yesu Kristo abadanike bali babikire balupanda ba Yesu Kristo. And the Lord allowed that Jesus Christ was tortured up to the end. It was only one day when the Lord looked upon him and he resurrected Bamwamba. I have no words. Ifilambe fituleponya Bamwamba. I have no words, Bamwamba. May the Lord be with us. God allows certain things to happen because he wants to see how it's going to end. Bamwamba, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for your information, Mama. Thank you. Thank you. Chisuma.
Thank you, Mayo. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contributions.
In Lusaka, Zambia.
Yes.
Chelo here. Honorable Mamba, it's really disheartening to see how our late president has suffered. He has suffered enough to the extent of now being conducted more like a private postmortem. What have they stolen from this man, Edgar? Is it true that the rumors we had that they wanted to get something from him? This is what they wanted to achieve? I'm now believing to say this is true because they've done it. Honorable Mamba, it is not easy doing a postmortem on somebody who is not your relative. It's not easy. But this government, with its agents, they've managed to conduct a postmortem. My questions are that how safe is the body of Edgar Lungu? Is it true that rituals now have been done? Because we have been speaking about rituals might be done towards Edgar Lungu's body. Is it true now that they have succeeded what they wanted? ECL, wherever you are, Daddy, you have suffered. You have suffered. These Satanists are doing everything possible to do what they have done. Even in your death, they have followed you until to the extent of destroying your remains, to the extent of cutting to see what they wanted to see or to get what they wanted to get. I'm assuming, Honorable Mamba, they have gotten what they wanted to get from ECL's body. They have managed to get that. And this is the reason this same person has decided to even cancel the trip that he wanted to go to Kasama. Because he wanted to make sure that things are being put in place. Without an apology, these are Satanists who have no shame. These are Satanists who should not be allowed to the corridors of powers. We are speaking so like this, Honorable Mamba. It's too painful. It's painful to see how ECL has been subjected to this low level. Why? Why? God, please hear our cry. If it means to punish these people to die right now, let it be so. It's so sad. It's so sad.
Thank you.
What
Thank you very much.
People are heartless like that.
Thank you very much.
Stealing the body, they stole the body, doing a postmortem privately. And now, after doing that, what they did, they are able to surrender it. They have succeeded. They got what the Freemason told them to get. They've managed. These are idiots. I have no apology. These are idiots.
Thank you, caller. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make us.
Hello, good evening. Now, where are you
Mkwai Maya.
natotera abo bashikulu bantu bakiralanda before aba bakalipako ifo fine balanda ku mutima kiri abo bashikulu bantu baleranda okutira bafwayi batulondolwera ekyalo kyonse pali iyi program kuti yo balungu bayire ku medical check-up imwe bashikulu bantu konsoko muli mwachepa sana bakuti mulondolwera abena Zambia ileero ikishinga kyakiteeke ushe nimweke mweka mwali mu Zambia abamwena ati balungu ba ku medical check-up balungu bali bafumya po mundeke okubalefwayo okuya mwali kwisero fonse fyale ekitika elo balungu bali imino okuti baleya enshita bayishire epitanira kwa ishire isaba UN representative waba rapporteur kisumbu icho elo bafyukire mu kyalo imwe bashikulu bantu ilo balungu balefyuka fira tamwa mwene sole lomba mulefu okutukinkulako okutira eyo fwebera Zambia twala ikitan dress in public abene bakateeka bakyalo azati nawo ba president akainde bali ikita undress kale lilalonse balekanya Edith na wakupya ku kipatala pampia shakwe balungu kuya ku kipatala ku South Africa nempya shabo uko ekwisebanya mwali kwisayimo bashikulu bantiro ba hakainde balekanya aba bantu babiri kuya ku kipatala pampia shabo mpaka abantu ba mukufwa nomba irero muntu bakenyuka ku kipatala balifwaisha kitumbi kyako balite ku Zambia umfweni bahakainderesa n'abamona na imwe bene bonse mwe bali kulu bali lwabulesa n'amimona tolkwata obunake bonse nomba iki kyakulatakanya omubiri wa munene watero kimoni kokutira mulefu okumpera dignified burial first mwamutwala ku postmortem uko abanganda yako bashishibe imwe bashikulu bantu mutekanye sana mwala kwampule fitibu batamwishibe lungu alikwata abantu kwa fyalwa na imwe na ine na bena Zambia bonse.
Thank you very much. I've got the caller here. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and give us your contributions. Hello, caller.
Just wanted to send you a message, not on live, but because it's a bit confidential.
Thank you very much. I'll call you. I'm winding up the program. I'll take note of the number. I'll call you back.
Okay, just call me back when you are done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, I think we now have to close. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your contribution. Ndita ya mabadishani.
Hello?
Landeni po.
Chakitika mukyalo kyesu kakiweme kyakusenda omubiri n'okulya wekita postmortem kyakala mwana poine mukyalo uko omuntu wengafuwa mwabula omubiri mwawo kita postmortem gwene efirambeeko tuleerira bambita bakabeeko but one day fikekata abaana baabo ero tuleebuula ekintu bakabesha imwe mwalikwata abaana mwalikwata n'olukuwa nga kyalini mwebona ng'omwana weno kuti mwanfwa shani basenda omubiri gwe yawukita postmortem n'okuusha mu mabagi bwetwanfwa awo tuleepepa leseeko aba ku mundu namuntu kalifa emitima tatukweta otulo tudezi tatulala nomulemu nati tulesekeramu omwo alireeta amafundi asaibalo abantu tabalanda mulemu nati namuchenjera bakireseeko aba ipepo feninga pepala kwe bati fyonse fye nga pali fyo basendereko tapali fyo fyala abomba noko kwineko bafisondere tuletuma omuliro wakwa Yesu Kristu wambi okufukita neutralize umulopo wakwa Yesu Kristu wambi okufyonaula fyonse fye basendereko konseko fidi we speak the blood of Jesus. Let you shine, let your light, Lord, shine upon everything that they've taken from that body in the mighty name of Jesus. Twafiputaula twafyonaula mwishina ili yakwa Yesu Kristu fyonse fye wengafuayo okubomfya twalanda fye chinso chobewerese echo chiwombe bali ife fintu mwishina for Yesu Kristu. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. I'm taking the last caller and then we close. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Mr. Mwamba will remain anonymous.
Anonymous, give your contributions.
Mr. Mwamba, today is like a dark day for Zambia and the fiachitika lero kwena mu history ya Zambia ififyene fina abantu barambo okutuseka efi bonse abantu abo abama countries aya mu diaspora na kuisa na kumbi awe shene it's like a dark day mu Zambia tafyatara chitika kwefi ubuteko abantu okufu bafire bayishiwo bamone balelo lekesha abantu ngalachikana mwapatikisha ififyambo okuchitika kwena ile kuti nalomba kofia aya ma churches bonse aba mana yo chiste ngemi naka
Oh, my brother, you are cutting. Hello? Oh, I'm sorry, you are cutting, but we got you and your appeal to the church. Hello, this is now my last call. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and give us your contributions. Quiet.
Ambassador Anonymous.
Yes, Anonymous.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly. Make your contributions.
Yes, before I even forget, the previous caller was saying, he's never had any child. So he can't have that heart of understanding what it means to be a father. On top of it, Bakabeshanwa Bishop Bam Church is a bishop of a big church. But for him to behave like that is so absurd. And it's very disturbing that the whole entire Zambia, the church is quiet. The church has become so quiet, they're pretending like there's nothing that is happening. I don't know if it's because of the cyber law or something like that. Then, I'd also want to say that I'm very disturbed because Ambassador, I've witnessed a number of postmortems, and postmortems are so traumatizing. So for them to do such a thing, you know, it's like the grief that they've left with the family. It's going to traumatize the family for the rest of their lives. Not just the family only, even us that are feeling it. And this is so unlike Zambian, you know. Our culture is to see that the dead are cared for. Even as the last act of love, we need to do that. But it's like there's been a violation of everything. And I'm wondering, isn't there anything that can be done with the international community? Can this be reached to maybe even UN? And what would be the end result of this, since there was something that was said about the Supreme Court, from the Supreme Court yesterday? What is the Supreme Court going to do about this thing where they say they're going to cite them for contempt? I think we'd like to know about what's going to happen from there onwards. And I think whatever everybody is saying, maybe President Makebi Zulu should leave. I hope he could just stay put, because the body that he was, the whole family was waiting until that day should come when we bury him, was a full body without anything being disturbed. So how can they say they've abandoned the body? And where's the dignity in this thing that has taken place? So, former Ambassador, we'll be very happy to hear what the court has to say. Embassy. I think the court should have the last say about the people at the embassy. Even Wakabesha, nobody's about the law. Even Wakateka, why would he do such a thing? He's evil. Sorry to say, Ambassador. This is so devilish and so evil.
Thank you. That was my last caller.
Very, very disturbing. Very, very disturbing.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. That was my last caller.
There are so many missed calls, but I'm sorry, I think we gave as many people as possible to speak. We need to close the program. I'm just coming in with the summary.
At point in time, as I've said already,
Okay.
I've not come across a single man in politics who is today thinking of spreading Zambia.
Okay.
Apart from this is my head man in Zimbabwe, the southern province. He tried to do that, I think, but he didn't succeed.
Okay, so we...
No, I think he will finish that one.
Okay.
This is my southern province. What is he? The man who is running his party.
Which one? Magande?
No. Oh, no.
He comes from Southern Province.
Southern Province, yes. This man who is he?
Hakainde Hichilema.
Hakainde
Hichilema.
Hakainde Hichilema. Who running his
UPND?
UPND, right. Apart from that, there is no other leader I can fear to run this country.
When he sold the shares of Kansanshi without recourse to the constitution, people thought it was an isolated event. When he sold Mopani without recourse to the law, people thought it was just a business corporate decision. When he began to steal the seats, Kabushi, Kwacha, Kawambwa, Pambashe, Lumezi, Imfue, people thought, no, this is just a fight between the PF and UPND. When he now stole the entire PF, people said, no, the PF was... He has followed up with other illegal acts against the constitution, acts against our people, acts against our culture. He has amended the law illegally. He has delimited the law illegally. He's enacted cyber laws that has brought silence in the country. He denied his brother and his elder brother and predecessor access to medical treatment. For 3 years, Edgar Lungu couldn't seek medical treatment, even when he had an underlying medical condition that the whole country knew about. Now, even in his death, Edgar Lungu is being persecuted, is being punished, is being humiliated, and inhuman treatment is being caused on him. Yesterday, they picked the body without the authority of anyone. They allege that they are the authority of the court, and that judgment gives them powers to repatriate the body to Zambia and give it a dignified funeral. What we instead found out is that they took it to a pathologist in Pretoria, and this morning they assembled a team and conducted a postmortem. So even the lies they were issuing, relying on a court order, that doesn't say any of these things. They knew their intentions. President Hakainde Hichilema was expected to be in Mansa in a highly advertised program. He was supposed to leave the country. He had done none of that. Now we know that he wanted to monitor this process. Makebi Zulu left the country, rushed to South Africa. They spent the evening looking for the body with the lawyers. Finally, through demands of the court and the lawyer, they were now taken to a facility where they found that the body had been abandoned at that facility, and that authorities from Zambian embassy and others had now this pathology postmortem that was done on the late president. The logbooks show that the postmortem began from 8:30 and ended at 13 hours. The postmortem has been done without the consent or authority of the president, the family, or the lawyers. They were not aware. They just had to discover these facts. And as at broadcast time, when I brought in Makebi Zulu, he informed you as a country that they found this macabre where a postmortem has been done on many people here, callers were calling it a mutilation. They were calling it satanic ritual. We shouldn't even say it was a post-mortem under the guise that they're investigating a matter. Just total lies, a dishonest from government, just shows that this has nothing to do with the pursuit of law or any complaint. Because who initiates a coroner's inquest? Who initiates any investigation on the death? Who initiates a post-mortem? Can it be strangers in South Africa? Can it be strangers from State House? Where is the family? That was the purpose of our broadcast today. God bless you. Continue to pray for our country. We'll speak to you tomorrow.
All these others, at this point in time, as I've said already, I've not come across a single man in politics who is today thinking of spreading Zambia. Apart from this is my head man in Zimbabwe, this is the southern province. He tried to do that, I think, but he didn't succeed.
Okay, so we...
No, I think he will finish it that way.
Okay.
This is my southern province. What is he? The man is running his party.
Which one? Magande?
No. Oh, no.
He comes from Southern Province.
Southern Province, yes. This man, who is he?
Hakainde Hichilema.
Hakainde
Hichilema.
Hakainde Hichilema. Who running his
UPND?
UPND side. Apart from that, there is no other leader I can fear to run this country. All these others who are running parties, I can't see any one of them. Everything but live my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're former president, you are in danger of being attacked and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president? When you stripped me of these things, please, go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to go to church, somebody goes into church and says, oh, the party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen, to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're former president, you are in danger of being attacked and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president? When you stripped me of these things, please, go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to go to church, somebody goes into church and says,